Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another session of Archeo Gaming Live featuring Sasa's gamers Kate Minetti and Alexander Vanderwalle. Really quick, let's go over what is SASA. SASA stands for Save Ancient Studies Alliance. It's our mission to reverse the current downward trend in the study of the ancient world by engaging the public and bringing together students and scholars to share their passion for the study of the ancient world in order to inspire a vast new generation of students. We do this by hosting a lot of different kinds of live events, doing research on the downward trend in ancient studies. We have an open access database where you can search resources in ancient studies and much more. Where can you find SASA? Search for Save Ancient Studies Alliance. And on any of these platforms, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and now TikTok. SASA's live events protocol. Please be kind and respectful. Listen and ask thoughtful questions throughout the event. Please be patient with technology and those administering it. SASA live events are streamed on Twitch, and recordings will be posted on SASA's YouTube channel shortly after the event. There are spoilers during our Archeo Gaming events, but of course, as always, have fun. Don't forget to subscribe to SASA on Twitch. If you enjoy our live events, such as Archeo Gaming, book clubs, and reading groups, please consider becoming a supporter with a recurring donation. You can do this for as little as $3 a month, and you can help save ancient studies. Thank you for joining us.
All right. So we should be visible. I think we are visible. Are we audible? If someone could confirm. And are we audible on like a desired level of audibleness?
I can hear you.
You can,
Or I could hear you.
Can you also be heard? Someone in the chat.
Don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, I think you should be audible. I think I was able to hear you. Alright, so thank you for joining, everyone. Those of you who are joining at the moment, thank you for rating us, Adam, with a party of 11 viewers. We're playing Pentiment today. It's the first time we're playing this. We'll be playing this for the next couple of weeks. This is a game that, we've been wanting to talk about for a long time because it's just utterly fantastic, and it does a lot of fantastic things. We are joined today by Kate Cook and Adam Bierstedt from Ludohistory. Both of you probably already know if you've been watching this channel. So I'm not going to ask you to introduce yourself again because you've been doing that a lot of times, I think, on the channel. But basically, out of everyone I know, or everybody as Sasa knows, I think you two are the ones I know who've played it the most and who know the most about it. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. So is there anything? Oh wow, we're at 15, 18. Wow, it's great.
Wow, this is a busy stream.
I don't think we've never had more viewers than when Adam promotes us, I think. So thank you very much for that. So yeah, David was supposed to be here today. He couldn't join us, so I'll be taking over. But as you know, I said we will be playing this for the next couple of weeks. I will be playing a new game. So yeah, and yeah, so it's been a while since I've played it. I don't know about you two, but I think I haven't touched it in over a year or something. But
yeah, it's been, I think March was the last time I touched it. So it's been a little bit. So I'm super excited to get back in. It is still my favorite game of all time. And so I'm super duper happy.
So we can use two types of fonts. So let's use a stylized font because that's, you know.
Yeah. It's the whole point.
It's the whole point.
Which makes this game sound really boring if you say the whole point is about the fonts, but
but
like a big thing is about the fonts,
yeah.
right?
It's all about the fonts. Alright, and we're going into this book, which is in Latin, and it's the Bible.
It's actually the opening page of The Name of the Rose, translated into Latin.
Oh, it is. I thought I read in the beginning there was the word, and the word was with God. Okay, so
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
The very beginning of it, it's true, is a quote from the Bible,
Yeah.
but not the rest
Exactly.
of it.
Okay, so we're, not even 6 minutes in, and we've already proven how much our guests know about this book, about the game. I mean, but the entire aesthetic of this game is just fantastic, and everything it does, and the way, what it does with history, is, I think, like, I don't think any game has paralleled this so far.
No. Oh man, I'm so excited to be back playing this game again.
It's been so long for me. I think I've forgotten a bit of it as well, but it's nice because then you can discover it again. Look at the manuscripts and the little animals.
It's so perfect.
I don't know if you can hear the music very well in the chat or YouTube, but yeah.
I can. I don't know about
Yeah.
the chat. Hopefully they're hearing all right.
Yeah.
And we're going to Tassing, Bavaria, Holy Roman Empire, April 1518.
Okay, great. They can
That
hear
one is
fine.
good, yeah. Thanks, Max. And Paris an artist sleeps. All right, yeah, we have the yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's
Oh, I have to say, this
Yeah.
bit, like, I feel like this is quite an interesting thing, because I didn't have the cultural knowledge to really understand this thing. Which is maybe, I mean, I'm a, like, relatively educated person, but still, some of this stuff I just didn't get. But what I thought was quite interesting is as the game developed, it didn't really matter, and I sort of appreciated these characters for who they were anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some really deep cuts. Specifically, Saint Grobian, the second on the right there, is in the time period of this game, he is incredibly recent as an invention because he's invented out of whole cloth as a satirical saint. So he's the saint of debauchery and all bad things.
We also
And
have,
I think it's like 1507 or something that it's published, that the work in which he's introduced is published, so it is brand spanking new.
we also have Socrates here, who we don't find in that many games, but he's here. And
No,
he
the
does.
Socrates I did know, of course.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But yeah, this time we don't get to talk to him as a Mystios. But I don't think the things he says here are directly inspired by Plato, right? I mean, I assume any of you would know, but I don't think.
No, I did check this when the game first came out, and quite a lot of the things he says, some of the things he says are kind of close to things that he was reported saying, but some of them are not. They're kind of... but the same is true of his representation in Assassin's Creed, right? There's this kind of various things that get sort of ideas that get attributed to Socrates that sometimes are and sometimes aren't actually attributed to him in kind of ancient dialogues.
Yeah, I think there's some parts of it, of Odyssey, that are like... they more or less resemble Plato, or some stories that he tells that you find in Plato, but then there's also like quotes that you find on like a a Facebook cover image with like a nice landscape in the background and a very nice quote purportedly by Socrates, but it's not actually him. So it's a mix there.
That doesn't super surprise me though, because right, this very much is just accumulating a whole bunch of very late medieval ideas about Socrates. So a lot more Neoplatonism. I think it hews a lot closer to Neoplatonist ideas than it does to OG Platonist ideas, or quotes attributed to Socrates, because the translations of Plato that they have in the early 16th century are not the best. And so you see like a little bit of like Thomas Aquinas kind of filtering in there, a lot of early Neoplatonist works and their sort of elaborations on Socratic ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of it is like medieval reception of Socrates, isn't it? It's not, you know, a direct reception of the classical Socrates that we're seeing here, which is great. And you know, which is, you know, as someone in the chat has just said, that reflects Andreas's understanding, right? So it's totally appropriate for the context.
And I adore the other two characters, right? Beatrice being a reference to Dante, and then Prester John, my favorite medieval figure, bar none.
We also have to talk about these underlined words, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
That you can just click on them, and you're basically you're watching a miniature in a book, and then you get the you know, a very brief you know, description of what what are certain terms or character names, or in this case a place name, Nuremberg, which I think is something that so many games could learn from. Like oftentimes when you have these codex menus, like they're hidden behind, you know, several screens or something, but here with just one click you get the information and you can turn back, and I love that so much.
Yeah,
it's a really organic way of presenting the information, isn't it? It's, you know, it doesn't take you away from the game, it just sort of puts it around it.
Yeah, it's real good, and the fact that it's all got the little maniculum pointing in makes it all feel very, very bookish and very like medieval marginal writings, even though the content is like very rare that you get this sort of encyclopedic glossing on one of those books, but it feels very right.
Just leave him.
It's morning.
Yeah,
nearly.
It is. Yeah, we're dreaming this basically because we were asleep.
It's funny, when I first started playing this, I actually found the way the letters kind of slowly fill in, I guess, a little bit frustrating. I wanted to, you know, because with a lot of games, if you read quite quickly, you can just sort of skip to the get the whole line, and I kept feeling tempted to do that. But the longer I sort of played this, the more I got into the speed of it and started appreciating it as an experience rather than necessarily as a kind of a game to sort of win or get to the end of. The more I started just letting these bits of dialogue just slowly write themselves out.
And also there's, I mean, I don't ever watch like ASMR videos on YouTube or something, but the way, like the sound design of when they're like writing on the manuscript, I think it's fantastic. It somehow, I don't know, it feels like satisfying. Again, we have a very nice picture.
Well, are we able to drop images or image links in chat? Because the Ship of Fools here is almost directly coming off of a Dürer woodcut.
I think I don't know if you can, but you can definitely put links.
Looks like it works.
Yeah, you can put links.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, there's Albrecht Dürer's woodcut, and since Andreas is not so subtly just Dürer, but officially one of Dürer's competitors, I think, I mean, it's very, very explicit where their visual design's coming from, and it is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, have you spoken with the developers?
Yeah, I got to talk to Zoe Franznik, the assistant narrative dev at length, and there were devs hanging out in chat when I did this a year ago. So Martin, who T-Shift sometimes on Twitch, sometimes shows up, was one of the, I think was also one of the narrative designers, and Josh Sawyer was crashed my chat once to warn me about one dialogue option.
Oh really? Warn you?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, just for a very late game thing, warned about just that it's a little bit spicy.
Oh, okay.
Also, my perfect child.
Oh, she's so cute.
And I love how again with the fonts, like how it changes depending on certain characters. Like very well read, characters will have different fonts from people who aren't, for example, and I really like that. we can click journal to access quests. So we are another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. We're supposed to work in this game.
Boo.
Should really clean this up.
It's the end of term, Andreas. Blow it off and go for a drink.
The Catholics, kings. Oh wait, yeah, okay, yeah. We have little. We get if you haven't played in a while and you forget who the people in the game are, you can easily find out. We aren't going to bed. We're just woken up. So wait, when you go into the big manuscript, when you zoom out, is that also Name of the Rose?
No, it's the Chronica Tassier. So it's a fictional book that is like a major plot point in the game. It's like there's an addendum to it that details the events of the game. So if you translate it, you can't really get ever a full look at the Latin, but the bits you can translate talks a lot about Curacao Abbey and the events therein.
Okay. We're talking to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this is a really nice. So I voted Pentiment my history game of the year on the History Respawn stream, which is the other place I sometimes go to talk about games. And sorry, I'm a bit treacherous that way. But one of the reasons I voted it my history game of the year is exactly because of this kind of very quite small scale setting that Andreas is staying with kind of normal people. He's staying with people who are not that well off because he's not kind of that well off. He's working, he isn't living in a castle or whatever. You get a real chance to engage with women in a way that you don't necessarily in other games. Here are two women going about their everyday lives. If Andreas was up in the Abbey or Andreas is in some palace or whatever, we're not going to get this scene, and we're not going to sort of see Clara's, because Clara's concern is connected to the rent here, as we're just going to say, she wants next month's rent today. And this kind of, household management stuff, this engagement with these female characters, I think is something which Pentiment's setting and Pentiment's kind of small-scale focus really allows for in a really brilliant way. And that's one of the things I think, we talk about this being a completely different standard for historical games. This is somewhere you, I think, really see it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think looking ahead, long term, the other thing I think this game does utterly brilliantly is that it shows things changing in a way that no other history game has ever done. It may be too strong to say ever, but it's pretty much even something like a Paradox game, the big historical simulations. Have the same mechanics regardless of whether you start Crusader Kings 3 in 800 or in 1400. And this game says no, in a very short amount of time, things are going to change dramatically, and the way you actually move through the game space changes to match. And it's magnificent.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. This isn't the hyperkinetic historical action game that you usually find. This is very, the rhythm and the pace is different, and the characters are different, and you can have actual conversations with people about everyday aspects that you often, like Kate said, you often don't get in other types of games.
Sure. Stuff like, the crops, they're having difficulty with the crops and the taxes have gone up, and therefore this kind of peasant family effectively is finding it difficult to meet those taxes. I don't think, apart from on kind of, I suppose, large scale, your whole kingdom's crops have failed. Yeah, that really isn't something that you would see in a lot of other things.
Yeah, it's a different type of history, right? It's more the social aspects rather than the big, great person, empire conquest narratives that I think for a long time games have been primarily interested in. Yeah,
and it's probably not a surprise, right? They released when the game came out a reading list that's a partial bibliography of all the things that they looked at. and it's microhistories. So The Cheese and the Worms by Carlo Ginzburg is on it. The Return of Martin Guerre by Natalie Davis, Natalie Zeman Davis is on there. The catalog on Albrecht Dürer's Journeyman Travels, which was an exhibit put on by the British Museum, I think, is on there. So some of the a microhistory of an early modern executioner based on his diaries was on there. So it's very much a microhistory oriented approach to and this is like a microhistory game, which is a wildly underdeveloped genre for how intuitively obvious like that pairing actually is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in 2009, when people were sort of starting to look at, for example, the ancient world in games, like Dunson Lowe wrote that we should expect the expected when we play, game reconstructions of history or the ancient world. But I think nowadays, we, if like you say, developers post their bibliography lists online, I think we can expect much more than just what we would have expected from stereotyping representations. I mean, there's very deep cuts. It's research is referenced. I think they are maturing in that respect, especially in the last couple of years.
And Josh Sawyer has always been good at this, right? Like it's pretty easy to see the historical thought processes in Fallout New Vegas and Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, but like his background is in this period. That's actually what his degree is in, and so like the credits of this game has a bibliography. That the main complaint people had about the bibliography is that it is a very good bibliography from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Which, as far as the complaints go, that's super duper mild.
That's true. I mean, that's the worst thing you can say about this game. That's a good game.
Yeah, like the level of nitpicks that we were getting is like the brushstrokes on the pig's hair is from 50 years later, and that is the level of nitpicking you have to get where you can find quote unquote historical inaccuracies of any grand trouble.
Yeah, I think we can give it high marks for that.
This is something I really like as well. The kind of mistakes, the way that particularly the characters like Jorg and Clara as well tend to make slightly more mistakes kind of in their writing, which is obviously like in their speaking, but they've really thought about like if you represent speech as writing and not as speech, so they don't voice anything, but what difference would that make? And therefore they've really thought about this as kind of a written artifact, and they've given them spelling mistakes, and it's just the concept is not kind of shallowly applied, it's applied at a really kind of deep level.
And also the fact that they sometimes that there's a space that they add another word with like a different color, because that's how if you're writing the text, you're not gonna swap each and every single time. You will finish your sentence and then you'll fit in the word. It's like very cool, references. And so here we are supposed to pick our background that will affect our character choices going forward. We can decide if we're from Basel, so from Switzerland, right?
Yes.
The Low Countries, or Italy. I don't know if anyone has any preference, but this is the literally only game that I know where the city I live in is mentioned. It's Ghent. So I think, am I not mistaken? When this game came out, did it say Flanders instead of Low Countries?
Yeah.
And then it was replaced or something because you wouldn't have the name Flanders in this time period.
Yes.
Which is incredible. Like one of the first updates. So if it's all the same to you, let's go with Low Countries.
Let's go there.
Go on then.
Yeah, and I mean, I just said Andreas is Dürer. If Andreas is Dürer, that's the correct choice, because historically, Albrecht Dürer did do his Wanderjahre in the Low Countries, and then first thing he did after he became a master was go to Venice.
Which is probably where the Italy choice comes from then.
Yeah, he
Italy's
didn't
also
spend a
good
lot of
if you
time
want
in.
to be a classicist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he weirdly didn't spend a lot of time in Basel, but Basel is like outside of Nuremberg. Right, the four major print centers in West Central Europe are Antwerp, Basel, Venice, and Nuremberg. As an artist who specializes in illumination, but also print, because those are you did both in the period. Those are the places that he needs to go.
So now we can choose if we're a hedonist, a craftsman, a bookworm, a rapscallion, or a businessman. Does anybody have any preferences here?
They're all good. In my playthrough, I did Bookworm, which was delightful because we got some extra. We just got some extra stuff about all the books you see in the library. But I think all of the above, right? Any of them are going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all give you fun little. I've started 3 of them, which tells you how much I played this game when it came out, as always. But yeah, I mean, all of them have kind of fun extra dialogues. We've had a vote in the chat for Bookworm, and 1 for Hedonist, but that sounds like 2 votes for Bookworm then. So
I mean, when we did Stray Girls, we went the dark route. Let's say on the light side, and let's be Bookworm then. This time around.
yeah, it's true. The chat leads us into very problematic places, so let's risk them.
Really mostly in talking about books. I couldn't get enough of it. Flanders has some of the most incredible manuscript illustrators in Christendom. Which, yeah, when I was reading, I was like, no, this should be no. These are treasures. This should be like a wallpaper. I didn't realize that books meant that much to you. Father Thomas. York, let's go. And so, do you know, Adam, if any of the, you know, like, the miniatures that we actually see, like the animals, for example, in the, in the book itself, are they, you know, actual attested, I mean, miniatures as well, or are they more, or are they mixed with inventions of the, you know, the designers themselves?
Yeah, it's a mix of stuff. So some of them are actual marginalia. Like you'll sometimes see the oyster, which is I think from the 12th century, if I remember right. I think it's in like the Rochester, the Rochester bestiary. A very famous English bestiary from the High Middle Ages. It has the oyster that looks like just an orb with a lip. But any of the cats and dogs you see are probably dev pets. And then there's several things that people already seen actually that are references to another game. So they're Easter eggs for Inculinati. So the donkey with bagpipes, the... we don't have any up right now, unfortunately. But like the donkey with bagpipes, Hildegard von Bingen, you'll sometimes see... Hildegard actually also shows up in this game, but looks very different. So, a few of those are references over to Yaza games, which is very fun, and I'm glad that they got in touch and have Easter eggs for each other's games.
Yeah. How does that work, copyright-wise? Like, you
They just agreed to, like, they did it as a cross-promotional thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, right, you can play as Andreas in Inculinati, and you can see Inculinati's marginalia in Pentiment.
That's cool. I don't know of many other historical games that do crossovers or... I mean, except from, like, you know, weird outfits in Assassin's Creed, but we don't talk about those.
The paint store.
The paint, yeah. When they released basically the Iron Man suit for Valhalla, that was
That was a lot.
yeah. And then I think they did something with Destiny as well. I think. But yeah.
This is one of the other things that I really like about this game is the sense of, I mean, so Adam's already talked about the kind of like changing history, but also the sense that there is a history, that this place has its own local history that is going to become more and more important as you go on, but that there are, you know, people with old traditions that are fading out and the kind of Abbey's changing influence on the town and all of that. It's a much more kind of, and actually that's one of the things I'm speaking about in the summer. It's a kind of very situated way of thinking about a period of time that quite a lot of historical games again don't do, because you have this kind of this disconnected sense of history in a lot of games where you're just kind of in a time period or in no time period at all if you're playing something like Civilization where you're just kind of in a nominal year and only the stuff that you're in seems to matter. There's no sense that kind of things happened previously, or you know that kind of almost that there is a past in the past, and
Yes.
Pentiment really pays attention to that.
That's gonna we're gonna see that pretty soon. I think right. The statue shows up real quick here on the way up to the Abbey. But the scene with Il Peter is actually one of the few places where I disagree with the game. This was a place where I immediately went over to JSTOR because, right, Il Peter makes a big deal about, oh yeah, there is active pagan traditions around Frau Perchta. And I just don't think Frau Perchta's pagan. Like, I think she's a medieval folk Christian invention around traditions of Saint Lucia. And I mean, incredibly equivalently, and lots of room for very valid disagreement. But I like that Il Peter thinks she's pagan and pre-Christian. I just don't think that she historically is.
Yeah. With the very fact that, you know, she's mentioned at all. I mean,
oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of festivals in this game that are very capital W weird, and it's perfect. Oh, I think that frog is a historical marginalia.
Okay. I'll see if I can
Yes.
get back to it.
Let
Maybe
me see if I can find it.
this one, the frog.
Yeah.
It looks funny though. There's some fish here as well. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, let's see if I can reverse image search. I found, naturally, the Twitter account, Weird Medieval Guys, is a great source for this, but, unfortunately, there it is. Montpellier Bibliothèque, Interuniversitaire Médecin, H418, folio 23 verso, and has a link to the digitized manuscript catalog for not quite identical, but clearly the inspiration for that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all this.
There's sheep everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many good sheep.
Oh, Martin is so annoying.
I remember.
Are we gonna make? Is he gonna be absolutely the worst, or are we gonna get him to actually compliment us?
I have never succeeded in doing that. Whatever I try, I've never successfully like made friends with Martin.
Yeah, I have no idea how to get Martin to like you, and I have no idea how to end up in the abbot's good graces.
Is it?
I have managed to end up in the abbot's good graces.
Impressive.
Mostly you have to behave very well at dinner and be very rude to the Baron all the time.
You know, that's acceptable.
Because the abbot is not really a fan of the Baron, so...
Which I adore, right? Another one of the very, very, very many things that the game does well is showing the town, the church, and the nobility as all, especially in this period, really not getting along particularly well, and having more than one layer as to why they don't get along.
It's not just an age-old fight between assassins and
Exactly.
But it's, again, a lot of it is like really well situated, so they've got the sort of the wider debates. The Baron and the Abbot partly disagree because of these kind of bigger theological debates that the Baron has heard about, but there's also these kind of local issues as well. The taxes is a really specific local issue, and some of the older people not liking this Abbot because they don't like him as much as the last Abbot as well is that's a really kind of personal, small scale thing, but absolutely makes a big difference to kind of the way these relationships are being built in this place. So
are we trying to get on his on his good graces or not?
I mean,
By all
you
means,
can
try.
try.
I don't know how. I think
I don't know
any
how.
of these would be upsetting him.
Yeah, certainly he doesn't like the first or third ones.
Yeah. So that's.
I'm not sure he particularly likes any of them.
Yeah, he's kind of just like that.
Yeah.
Go this way, I guess. No, there's somewhere else. Let's go.
This is quite good as well. Again, the first time I played this, I found it a little bit frustrating that you couldn't get into the other spaces, but actually it's really good for showing you where you're supposed to go, that you can't just roam wherever you like. And they've done it again in a really organic way. Like there's sheep in the way, so you can't, and there's these horses on the road, so you can't go up there right now. But it at least like teaches you where stuff is and gets you to the right place in a kind of not railroady sort of way.
Here as well, if we can't go because the sheep are blocking us.
The sheep are just magnificent. The horses also have a very specific design. I don't remember which manuscript it is. Let's see.
Look at Klaus's printing!
It's totally the Rochester. Oh yeah, this is incredible. Klaus is my favorite.
Forget the horses. Look at Klaus's printing.
Yes. But yeah, all the animals are designed after the Rochester bestiary, which was again English and High Medieval. It's 13th century, but they all have this incredibly distinctive eye that is just incredibly compelling. So that's like the animals look nothing like historical animals, and then they have an ultra detailed eye. And so you see that in like all the animal designs because it's so good. It's not 16th century in any way, shape, or form, but it's so good.
Wait. Trying to protect people from heresy, which mania? Ventures through the question of more. Your sloppy type. Oh, let's not say that.
Be rude.
That would be very rude. We're doing like a good guy playthrough, right?
Okay, then. I mean, so far you've been quite kind of pro-Christian, so probably heresy. It seems. In a couple of your answers to Il Peter, you were very kind of, the church doesn't like that.
Yeah, you're role playing, right?
I'm sorry, not you are, Andreas.
Yeah, Andreas. Yeah.
Your Andreas has been very, the church doesn't like that. Whereas my first Andreas, I think, like knew the occult or something. I went straight in there with the heresy, like first playthrough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fully honest. When I'm listening to you speak and I have to read a thing and make choices, I sometimes just click something.
That's fair. The game does a good job of making sure all the choices at least feel appropriate, right? Like, even if your personality and how snarky you are can vary wildly moment to moment, they all still feel like a cohesive character. And there's so much writing that goes into this game. It's pretty special.
Yeah, I agree.
Just running late. At this point, we're running pretty late.
Oh no, Father Thomas. We will not. I can't remember what we'll be doing on Sunday, but almost certainly not coming to that.
You don't have time for the lore this Sunday.
No, I don't.
It's actually a big historical problem that they have. Right, like the Fourth Lateran Council in the 13th century again, basically says we can't get people to actually show up for mass. this is terrible crisis, and so they basically say you have to show up at least once a year.
Which is enough.
And it's like
Be fine.
that the tradition of Creasters is truly centuries old.
Oh, see, here we have the horses, yeah. And the chat is saying they have big doggo energy. Let's see. That's not, this is... Lorenz, Baron of Rothvogel.
A great lord.
Worms. Is it? Okay.
I have to say, because this is so much not my period, I read that gloss the first time I played, and then I went away and looked up what is an imperial diet, because I really
was
didn't
thinking-
know what that meant.
Yeah. It's
What?
yep. It's just a meeting, right? It's the collection. It's the collection of nobles, in typically one of the free traded cities for something about bias or whatever, to decide matters of policy. So the really important one, in this period, actually, let's see, has it happened yet? It has not happened yet. It will happen in 3 years. At the Diet of Worms, in 1521, Martin Luther gets declared to say renounce or his deemed heresy, because Pope Leo X says, "All right, this has got to stop." The canons, it's all a little bit out of the bag at that point. So. Protestantism is well on its way by 1521, and there's not a lot anyone can do about it, but the imperial, I guess, assembly in the city of Worms is an incredibly important spot in the history of the Reformation in about 3 years in the future.
That's cool. Yeah, I also had no idea what it was. Have you not heard of Albrecht Dürer? Here we go. We have a reference.
Exactly.
Around
And at this period, right, by 1518, he's made engravings of the emperor. He is probably the most famous artist in West Central Europe. And he's actually near the end of his life at this point. He hasn't quite done his masterworks yet, I believe. Let me confirm on that. When was that made? Oh, no, it is done already. He did his masterworks between 1514 and 1518. So Melancholia, Jerome in his study, and there's one other that I can't. Oh, Night, Death, and the Devil. So, but he's been a master since 1491 or so. Made incredibly popular Apocalypse series in 1498, and is just utterly remarkable as an example of sort of this really elite, I guess, nouveau riche. Like, his parents were wealthy, but he wasn't not celebrity wealthy. But by 1521, he's best buds with Erasmus of Rotterdam. He's well known in Italy, the Holy Roman Empire, the Low Countries, and France, and just sold a bajillion copies of some of the best artworks of his time period.
I have to say, with each historical fact, I like this game more because, as Kate said, this is really not my period, and so I have some vague notions, but I don't, know all the details. But yeah,
it's so good, and it only gets better the farther into it you go.
I must know the story. This will be remembered.
I love that really ominous "this will be remembered" tag.
It is very, if you are anxious about making choice in games and worrying that you make the wrong one, this will be remembered is really distressing. It also, like, because of its, you're reading and you're always looking at a book. Like, playing it feels almost like literary in a way. Like it feels like you're just reading a story, or that, and because you're not, it's not a fully 3D world where you're, constantly doing abilities or looking around. Like it feels more literary in a way.
Yeah, I find it relaxing. I think that's when Pentiment first came out, I spent a lot of time playing this or wanting to play it when I was finding other games hard work. Because we all play a lot of games for kind of work purposes, and sometimes that's quite difficult when the games themselves are also hard. But what a game like Pentiment sort of allows you to do is just kind of relax into the story. You really don't have to worry about, like, can you manage the combat, or can you sneak around this corner without getting caught 500 times. You just get to kind of enjoy the dialogue and the plot points and whatever it might be.
Oh, there's the statue.
There's the statue.
Rude. I don't forgive you for saying that.
No. University of Erfurt. And here we have Martin Luther.
Heresy.
Yep. Certified Protestant.
Are we? How
There should
Christian
be an
are
option
we
to say,
playing?
he's a total heretic!
How Christian are we gonna be?
I mean, I think for Christian either way, it's just, are we a Protestant? Or proto-Protestant? Oh no. The abbot probably won't like you if you do this, but the Baron will.
Let's.
You reject him, the abbot will like you and the Baron won't. You've got
you're
to, one or the other.
This will be remembered.
It will be remembered.
You know what? Out of a purely historical interest, his idea do seem fascinating. This will be remembered.
Oh dear, you're a heretic, Alex. You're a heretic.
I've been exposed.
God.
You and your rich friend, heretics both.
Oh yeah, just like that. We have some nice Roman ruins.
Yeah.
Yup.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah.
And this, I love this bit. And this
Yeah.
happens a few times. Like, once you suddenly discover the situation of people's education, or that, that they can read when you didn't know they could, or that they speak different languages, their font sometimes changes to match your perception. So, like, the writing is Andreas's perception of the person, which is fascinating.
Yeah, you're right. It's vocalization in a way.
Yeah. And by the way, there's the oyster I was talking about earlier.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Because that's what that's supposed to be, apparently.
Oh. I would not have identified that as an oyster.
Kind of looks like a crossing between like a whale and an octopus. I don't know, like with the thingies. And so here we have 4, major names being described, and how many games, even like Greco-Roman based games mention Aristotle or Cicero. Like Expeditions Rome is one that I think, but not that many do. And
Shadow of Rome mentioned Cicero.
Really, does it? Oh yeah, I think yeah.
But yes, you spend a lot of time stalking him, and then he dies later. So, sorry, spoilers, guys. But
I mean, it makes sense for the time.
I mean, I know of exactly 0 games that mention Ficino, though. Like,
Yeah,
super
I
important, super popular in this period. But like, both him and Erasmus of Rotterdam, no, despite 300 years of editions like every year of his works that are multi-volume sets that are incredibly popular, and every rare books library in the world probably has at least one iteration of. No game mentions them.
No. So this is really remarkable, I think. And you can also you can find all of this in like your codex as well, right? Like you can access it at any time,
Yeah.
and that's that's impressive. As well as any university student.
So now he's got a nice university font.
Yeah. Did you? This is close to home. At this point in my life.
Oh no.
It's funny
I've been
because
Oh,
earlier Andreas had the choice to say I promised him I would get it ready by the end of April, and that's literally the deadline I'm looking at. I don't like it.
is it?
It is basically, yeah, or somewhere around April at least.
Okay.
This
Good
is
hedging
this
there.
this is me.
We're all getting called out in this.
Oh yeah.
Not all of us.
Not all
Some
of
of
us?
us are old people who did complete our doctorates.
Okay, some of us are getting called out. What's your area of oh, now we get to choose again, right? Theology,
Yep.
imperial law, or medicine. Any
Well, you're a heretic, so you can't do theology.
Yeah, we're
Let's
not
go
doing
for imperial law.
You could do theology, because it does have an education in heresies.
Okay,
it
yeah.
does say that, yeah.
You could have become a heretic through your theological. Yeah, fair enough.
We studied it, and then having gathered all the knowledge, we decided to become a heretic.
Yeah.
You could also have imperial law fun facts.
Fun fact? I mean,
I love all the like stupid things that these backgrounds give you. The little like,
yeah.
I mean, Andreas is a really annoying character, right? Because once he knows something, he could just share it, regardless of whether or not anyone wants to hear it. And I
All
really
the
like
time.
that about him. I like that he's, you enjoy playing as him, but he has got a strong enough sense of character that he's not always very likable necessarily, and he's got flaws and so on.
Yeah, so, I think Chad is also saying theology, so should we go theology?
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah.
upset everyone?
Go for it.
As odd as that may seem.
Does seem odd, Andreas.
The Ballad of Silver. Yeah, sorry, Parisian. we can pick Imperial Law if we ever play it again. I mean, do a second playthrough. You, if you'd any fate, you would have prayed you.
Oh, this I love as well. Notice that Atelier is older, so she's a bit rubbed out. Like her drawing is fading, and that will
Yeah.
happen as we kind of move through time. Like some of the older characters, their drawings start getting kind of worn out compared to
Yeah.
say Andreas is kind of young and freshly drawn.
Yeah, you can see it with character coming up pretty soon, really clearly. Brother Piero is like 1 foot towards completely erased.
Yeah. Rude, Baron. These massive insects do worry me a little bit. Like, I know they're stylish, but if I spend too long in this meadow, I find myself just sort of staring at the massive insects. Like, oh, okay.
So here we have a trivium and quadrivium.
Yes, everyone must do classics.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
appropriate.
Do you have a favorite subject? Oh, okay. I think Kate just answered the question. Everyone must do classics.
Well, as I said, my first playthrough was an occultist. I didn't actually make him a Latinist,
okay.
but
You
the Latin
can
is
pick-
good. It's just,
I think you're gonna pick 2 of these, so we can kind of just go around and see what's fun. I think we should do a Latinist because obviously.
Yeah. I think we should go for that as well.
This is the Ancient Studies Alliance
We are, yeah.
stream,
Exactly.
after all.
So, let's go Latinist. I mean, a Latinist from the Low Countries. I'm basically playing myself. I mean, in that respect, not the entire Christian thing. The greatest empire of the ancient world. What is our favorite sententio? Oh wow. Don't remember those from my Latinist days. Oh wait, what did it say about sententio? They're commonly understood in maxims. Rome agrees. Let's go with this one. Cato the Younger. Oh, it doesn't explain who Cato the Younger is.
No. Well, he's an unflinching defender of the Rome. What else do you need?
Fair enough. Death at the hand of Caesar. Or died by his own hand.
Stop it, Andreas.
Fun facts.
Yeah, right? This is what I mean. Like, Andreas is like, I know a thing. Let me tell you. Like, you don't even get a choice to just not tell
You get the second one. So, logician, orator, occultist, or heavens and earth.
I just love that description. He knows a soul-endangering amount in the occultist one. Like, that is just good.
Soul-endangering amount of fear. Oh, they misspelled knowledge. It says no wedge.
Oh,
It could be.
Oops.
But the thing is, here it could actually be a feature. Like it could be, you know, it's written down and somebody's forgotten to correct it. Like it's part of the manuscript's atmosphere. So it's not wrong.
I've not seen that particular typo in a real manuscript, but let's roll with it.
But it's the fact that there are typos. That's the true accuracy.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So, anybody have a preference? You want to go occultist? Heavens and Earths have a nice rainbow with a bee underneath it.
True.
No. Occultist is fun because there's some characters who will really bounce off you in fun ways if you have occultist options. It also, I think, makes one puzzle significantly easier, but you get fewer fun facts.
So, do we go for the easy puzzle or for the fun facts?
So, I mean, we're already Protestant. We may as well go all in on soul endangerment.
All right. Let's go.
Let's be real heretics. Let's not just be partial heretics.
More esoteric interests. Esoteric how?
Don't tell him. Don't tell. You can't go around telling people that you've just
You're
met.
academic, don't worry.
Yeah, of course.
Again.
I have to say, also, this like choosing the occultist thing means you get to learn about some really weird texts that Andreas turns out to know about, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yep.
Please be discreet about it, my lord. Don't tell people. Let's go with that. Oh, it would also be oh, wish there was a way to tell. There's the Abbey.
It takes a long time to ask, what are you even doing here?
Yeah. I mean, we're already an hour late for work.
I know, we're just never getting to work.
The lateness we were at the beginning. We have some nice bunnies here. Rabbits.
They're nice bunnies, it's fine.
Okay.
Exactly. We have 3 very nice, round, fluffy rabbits, and 1 hare that has seen the eyes of God and is totally fine with it.
Something is beyond the limits of the screen here that we're not able to see, but this rabbit is perceiving everything. which is what any classicist would say. Oh, Brother Piero, I remember him.
Oh, Brother Piero.
Yeah. Oh, we have some more animals here. We have...
Look at his cute beard.
Is this the rabbit with an axe?
That is a rabbit with an axe.
Okay, well, I realize why this rabbit is there. Yeah, okay.
Shockingly common motive in medieval marginalia, actually.
Really?
Yeah, there is. I can think of like a half a dozen off the top of my head.
And sometimes they're in companies, right? I've seen the one where there's like a whole bunch of them, like an army of rabbits with axes. Like,
yeah, I mean, on my own channel's overlay, I've got a rabbit with a lance.
Right, yeah. That's great. Is it from this game, or was it you had it earlier? Right?
Nope.
Yeah.
That is, I've had that since 2019, since the beginning. But yeah, that's from a 14th century French manuscript, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Michlaus. Alright, we made it at the Abbey.
finally.
And we have the nuns.
Run away.
I knew someone in the chat. I know
Yeah.
Kate in the chat.
Completely unsurprising.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's out of time in more ways than one. Okay, let's leave it at that.
He's cross.
Oh, look at the font.
Look at that type.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, the W's in this are not as bad as in the just like freehand. Freehand W's are my nemesis. Whenever I have to read a manuscript, it's like, oh god, what is this pile of squiggles? And it's always a W.
So, yeah. Is there something specific about the W that, you know?
When we see it again, I'll point it out. Basically, right, they've got a extremely fancy version. So the humanist hand and the Gothic hand both have fairly respectable ones, but the freehand has a special sort of literature that they use for it that ends up turning it into like a circle with a line through it, basically. So we'll see it. We'll see it in a different one of the different hands later.
I'm gonna see it now. A bit of refreshment though.
Again, you know, we were talking earlier about the fact that all of these kind of different layers of like people with relationships. This is, you know, in just this like casual conversation, which is not really anything to do with you. The game like really conveys that, because here is this guy who's shown up and is basically putting pressure on the abbot, just kind of acting like he could do whatever he likes, and then the abbot is going to put pressure on you because he's not very happy with this situation, and there's just kind of a lot of attention to these different groups and how this works. As you can say, you know, it's not my problem. Or you can be polite, or you can ask for money, apparently.
Book of
Yep.
So yeah, what are we choosing?
He's not going to give us an advance on our payment.
Yeah, and he'll remember this if we do.
Exactly.
So.
But we do need money.
We do need it, but it's a bad time to ask for it. We won't get it if we ask it now. So let's say eager to get to work. Oh, he doesn't remember that.
He's cross with us. Why is he so cross? We haven't done anything yet.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem. We haven't done anything yet. We should have been here 2 hours ago.
We were busy talking heresy in the meadow.
Yeah.
Come on.
By the way, I don't know why, but the first time I saw, this building, I thought these were fire extinguishers because they really look like it. But it's just like,
Oh, what was? Oh, the
yeah,
lamps.
they look like fire extinguishers
Exactly.
a little bit.
They're
So
not red.
naturally,
Yeah, well,
we should wander
yeah,
around, right?
we should wander around a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, let's still not go to work. Even
No.
though he just said get to work, let's just not bother.
But we are looking forward to it when we eventually get to it.
Exactly.
What is this? A relic.
I love this guy. So, right, they say Saint Moritz. In the Latin, it's Saint Mauritius. So a Afro-Roman general who dies in Syria, in the 2nd century, and is canonized almost immediately for various deeds that, like having the Lance of Longinus, and several other things whose details escape me. But yeah, he's Afro-Roman general who gets canonized and becomes a regional saint in Bavaria. And
He's
Switzerland,
fascinating.
originally Switzerland, and then moves over as part of the Swiss revolts of the 14th century into Bavaria.
Again, another fantastic reference. Also,
Yeah.
we have a dog playing the violin here.
We do have a dog playing a
wanted to-
violin.
I just wanted to point that out as well.
And a
That's not
pelican.
violin.
Yeah.
They're all good.
Okay, I think Kate in the chat wants us to talk to Sister Gertrude first.
She's so round.
She's happy. Look at her happy face.
Yeah. Very
There
nice,
it is.
thanks.
That W.
Wait, this one? Oh no, that
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
the
yeah, I
W
see.
in how and work.
Yeah.
That is a relatively polite version of it. The actual manuscript ones are far less legible.
Yeah, no, I can see how that. Yeah. How was your work? I mean, very well, but we haven't worked on it for a while.
We were probably doing some work yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how late it was yesterday. Agnes.
Amazing.
Hear that. The Albans. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Mistake. Maybe.
Good to know.
Yeah, and
Mouse fangage.
yes, my child.
Best
Mouse
character.
Yeah.
Best character.
Begins with the baby rabbits.
The cats and dogs in this game are actually perfect.
Yeah.
I love them all. There's not a single bad one.
Can we pet them?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
A lot. Forget going to work. Let's just wander around the garden,
Yeah.
stroking the animals.
I mean, at this point, it's probably close to noon, so we will start in the afternoon. Smell the pigments we use. Oh wow, we smell like fish. So much more hands. Let's go for this. I saw there's an entire new fan community about the cats in Baldur's Gate 3 who can talk.
Oh, good.
Yeah. There's some amazing
Those
clips
are
of
great.
them.
I discovered that if you crouch down next to the cats in Assassin's Creed Origins, it took me too long to discover this, but Bayek will stroke them
Really?
on the
Aw.
head. Yeah.
I didn't
So
know
then
that.
after that, I spent like a whole hour just like crouching next to cats. I'm I felt like I had to make up for all the cats that I'd ignored, because they quite often run up to you as well, which is quite a cute detail.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I thought that was only in Valhalla that you can interact with them.
Yeah, you can't do anything special, you just have to kind of crouch down, and assuming your hand is like close enough to them, then Bayek will pet them.
Oh wow. That's okay, I'm gonna reinstall Origins. Cecilia.
You can see the damage to represent age really quite clearly on Mother Cecilia there, on like the bottom edge of her robe, where it's just splotched off.
No concern, I've just decided to make it my concern.
Exactly.
The sisters interact with me.
It's true, they do.
Yeah, okay. I like want to see the process of how they recorded all of the, you know, the writing sounds. Like, did they just have a microphone and and a piece of paper where they just, you know, for a day they. Alright, can we go into Convent Loquarium?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's Hildegard's.
Really bad.
Yeah. Also, I guess a historical character who doesn't make it into that many games.
No. I think is likely to make up more soon, given having a arguably surprising resurgence of popularity. Thank you to Bardcore remixes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I listen to too many of those sometimes. And here we have another mouse finger, I guess, and hugging cats.
Yep. Most of the cats that are like that more photorealistic style are going to be dev pets.
Are going to be?
Developer pets.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I think I heard that for Assassin's Creed Mirage they had some cats from community from players in there, and like one of them has like it's something that looks like the Assassin's Creed logo on like their nose.
Yep, he's in one of the assassin bureaus.
Nice. That's cool. Oh, I hear a cat.
Yep, Mousefinger, my beloved.
Here, pet Mousefinger.
Yeah.
Oh. I wonder if you play this with a controller, if you get like a haptic feedback vibration when you pet the cat.
If I remember right, you do.
You do? Oh, that's fantastic. Because like in Stray, I think you streamed it, right? The haptic feedback is amazing there. Like every time the cat purrs, you feel it. That's yeah.
It's great.
Sophie. Many pedals, single foil.
I have some of that in my garden.
Really?
It is basically weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another layer of realism. Not for me. Okay, so let's go back. I think now we have no other choice.
You still wander around the rest of the abbey.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of abbey left to wander around.
No, that's true. Yeah. We go in the church.
Go
or
to
do we-
church.
Yeah, let's go to
Yeah,
church.
let's go to church.
Go into
Even
the
though we
church.
don't want to go to actual church,
No, we
let's just go look at this church.
We are here for to admire the architecture and
For tourism, yeah.
for tourism. Yeah.
Exactly.
Taking some pictures. It's really good. It was a worthy sacrifice.
I love the singing in the church. I
Yes.
love that
Dragon.
this guy's here. Oh,
Yeah, so he'll show up. I think he'll be practicing later in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is the cantor.
you can
Oh,
hear
there
him
he
I
now.
is.
hear it. Yeah.
Agnus redemit oves, Christus innocens patri, reconcilia
I wonder if is that a real
peccator.
song? Or...
It-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know 100% if the melody is taken from an antiphonal, or from like known chants, but the prayer is 100%.
Because I think in AC Valhalla you also had like priests speaking Latin on the streets or something, but I tried to look that up, but it was always nonsense. I think I don't think it was actually anything specific.
Yeah, it's like generic prayers
Yeah.
/ announcements / stuff, rather than coming from very specific 15th century antiphonals.
Talking to Mathieu, who looks amazing. My vocation seems silly to you. Okay. Are we pursuing our theologian?
Absolutely.
Yep. This will be remembered. Are we asking him for the money?
Yeah, we need it. Clara needs it.
Give me my pay.
Don't say that.
No.
Say the nice.
Yeah. Each additional manuscript you illuminate not before.
Which is sort of fair.
Yeah. Let's go with the first one. Oh, did I choose?
Oh,
Wrong.
Matthew, be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Said.
It's gonna be angry if I ask the first thing, no?
I can't remember. I don't think so. He's quite decent.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay. Okay, that's not
No,
why.
Alex.
No.
No.
I'm a good person here. Mm,
I like the first one.
yeah.
Yeah.
The name of Christian charity. Wait, how does this work again? It just...
So this is the
So this
first
shows you
example
if
of
you-
how this works, yeah. So it tells you what influenced your decisions. So it's not the decisions are
Yeah,
hidden
yeah.
up until the conclusion is reached, and then it tells you exactly which
Yeah.
dialogues got you there.
Okay, yeah.
And you need a net of +1 in order to get Matthew to do this.
Success. We got money. we are in a different space.
Yes.
Yep. So you are now inside the sacrist
Mm-hmm.
with the relics and the Eucharist and the money box.
But not for very long.
Flowers went early. Let's put it on the even. Otherwise, I have to go the entire way back. So now we can go to the Old Bailey, the dormitory, the tower, the crypt, or the cloister. Where are we going first?
You can't do a whole lot in the crypt right now, so I think either the Old Bailey or the dormitory will work about equally.
Go to the Old Bailey.
You can do something you shouldn't in the crypt much too early, but
Yeah, you can do it later though. You can do it later for no problem. Don't go into
Yeah.
the scriptorium though. Go back either into the dormitory. Actually, I think into the dormitory. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
go to
well,
the scriptorium, you'll have to go to
okay.
work.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Let's not do that. Oh, hi, Magistrisa in the chat.
Yeah.
We are
if you
avoiding
keep
going to work.
Exactly. We're going into the cloister to avoid going to work and meet best character. Out of a suite of very good characters, Sebat, my beloved.
Sebat.
Oh, yes. He's so beautiful. Look at him.
Yeah. Returning to Rome. Where is Rome?
What is Rome?
Yeah. It's an idea. Oh, the rabbit is now has a sword and a shield, and
Yeah.
That is an Inclinati reference. Both of those two guys on that side are from Inclinati.
what is this? What animal is it?
He's just a grotesque.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he's not a real animal. He's just a weird grotesque guy with an axe.
Okay. Lots of armored animals. I am my bishop. Perhaps we do not. The Council of Constance.
I have to say, the first time I played this, I read so many of these notes that after a while I was like, okay, I have to stop just clicking on all the notes because I feel
Yeah.
like I'm not really taking because like there's so much information
Yeah.
in the game. It's brilliant, but there's a lot of it.
That is
Yeah.
true. Like when many
And-
of these codex things, like you start reading them, and after a while, you know, when you're collecting them for the sake of collecting them in many games, like you sort of, you don't fully take it in anymore.
Mm.
Other games where codex entries are basically full Wikipedia pages
Yeah.
on things, and it's like that's too much information.
Mm-hmm.
And while there is a more detailed codex in this game, especially for characters, for the most part, they do a good job on keeping these labels like really down to the essential information players actually need, and that's very appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember in Stray Gods you had quite long codex entries, but they were also like part of the story, I guess. Like they wouldn't just
Mhm.
talk in like a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, Civilization and like Kingdom Come
Yeah.
Deliverance are the ones I think of as like, oh yeah, there's a lot of information here.
Yeah,
There
there's
is
way too
probably
much
too
stuff
much
on the
information.
Civilization one. Yeah, no one is going to read all of it. And, it's useful to quote from sometimes when you're writing articles, but apart from that, like, I really sometimes don't see why they put all that information in. Because sometimes there's stuff in the Civilization one as well, which has got no relevance to the game.
Alright, so where else can we go? Courtyard and Laboratorium.
But Sebat, or in that section they don't explicitly say it, but Sebat is from the Ethiopian church.
Mhm.
So, from the, I guess, there's basically four main branches of medieval Christianity, right, after the 11th century, right? There's the Catholic Church, there's the Greek Church, which, after 1054, there's a schism that turns it into a separate thing. There's the Nestorian or Syriac Church, which had been persona non grata in Europe since the 4th century, but was thriving up until the 15th century. Well, takes a big hit in the 14th century or 13th century when the Mongols show up, and then another hit in the Timurid period in Persia and Iraq. And then there's the Ethiopian Church, the Ethiopian Solomonic Church, which is its yet another completely separate tradition from ancient times. That's a diplomatic powerhouse at the end of the Middle Ages.
That's cool.
And his art reflects that as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Both he himself and if you go along and you hear him kind of tell the story to the children and the other families, that whole story is done in the kind of art style which shows kind of where he's come from, which again is just such a nice detail that it's
Yeah. Yeah, Ethiopian manuscript art is it's something special. A lot of it's a bit later. Right, most of our surviving stuff are like 17th, 18th, 19th century. Not a ton of 16th century material, but there's a lot of stylistic continuity. So it's just real good. And also, yes, one of my emotes is from a 19th century Ethiopian painting of the Battle of Agda, I think, between Ethiopian and Italian forces. So it's the Queen of Ethiopia with a gun.
We have some.
Oh, I love this as
Art
well.
here,
When I
that's-
first came across this,
That's actual German,
it's
Yep.
incredible.
but I can't read all of it. Like some of the. I guess this is the W. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember what they pulled the things or what they pulled the text from, but it's definitely a like Memento Mori poem.
Yeah. It
I just don't remember.
It feels like a poem, like. But I also don't.
Yeah, yeah. So this thing is
Yeah.
what's known as a Totentanz in German, or the Dance of Death. And there's a whole incredibly popular genre of poems that the Latin name for it will be a Memento Mori. So it's this poem that's just meditating on the inevitability of death. And we get this just phenomenal fresco of the whole thing.
Right here it says, yeah. Dance of Death.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. Large garden. We're never gonna get to work.
Oh, there are so many characters all the time.
Yeah.
Luckily, one thing that they do really nicely here is that time doesn't pass until you make a decision that flags that time is passing. So, you never feel like, oh, there's no time to go walk around
Yeah.
Mm.
and go enjoy this world space.
Although once you get into the investigation, I found, again, one of the things I think that's really interesting about this is that then you have limited time. Because it's so common that games will pretend there's a time pressure. Like I always think one of the really annoying ones is in Dragon Age Origins, where they tell you haven't got time to do X. Actually, you do. If you go off and do X and do Y and do Z, like the game doesn't move on at all. Whereas in this game, there's only a certain number of hours in the morning, and you can spend them doing X. And if you do, you can't do Y, or you'll have to find a different time to do Y, or whatever it is. Which is really good.
It's real smart. Like, it uses narrative time to put pressure on the player in terms of what decisions and what information you have, but not narrative time to say, no, you can't wander around and talk to, like, actually see this world and see how this is impacting people in the broad terms. And it's absolutely the correct decision, I think, for this sort of microhistory of being like, oh yeah, there's a lot of perspectives here. You can at least look at all of them, even though you can't explore all of them in depth.
Yeah. Oh, the cellar here. Lucas. has taken to is it
Hmm.
playing music or drinking?
I think it's playing music.
Yeah.
Also, now that we're getting a bunch of characters, the Andreas's journal has like a lot of information on where they're from and their backstories. So one thing this game does super duper well is showcasing people from all over the well, mostly the Christian world. So like Voislav is from the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Zdena is from Bohemia. Lisbeth is from the Low Countries. Matthew is Swiss, I want to say. And so you get people coming in from everywhere, all kind of forced together in the abbey, and it's I think that goes a long way to be like, oh yeah, all these people have meaningfully culturally different, like they're different people, so they have different reactions to things, but they're also from different slices of the culture who are a little bit contrived together,
Yeah.
but contrived together in a way that just I think works out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I really liked in the Forgotten City as well. Like
Yeah.
like it's a way of showcasing the diversity of you know history or the ancient world and you know how people interact with each other.
Exactly, and right, the bare minimum of contrivance to actually justify why they're all now monks in the abbey, right? They basically just says, oh, this is a Benedictine abbey. There's a big giant network of abbeys that like each other, and people will travel between those abbeys, and that is okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I really like it the way they do that, and I hope we can see more of that in future games as well. Let's go back up. We've been to the large garden. That's where we come from. We've also we haven't been to the refectory yet. Let's go there. We have
Well, we can enjoy one of the most dramatic scenes of the game shortly.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I don't know if we'll get there. We still haven't got anywhere
We haven't
close
got
to the
anywhere.
morning yet.
We still have.
Should we go to work?
We should probably go to work. There's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff that's going to happen when we go to work and then immediately after we go to work.
So
I suppose, you know,
let's go.
unless you want these streams to last for about 12 weeks, maybe we should make some progress
Yeah,
through the story.
Maybe. Wait. So I have to find the best way back. Do we go through the dormitory?
Yep, dormitory into the Old Bailey into the scriptorium.
Here we go. Which is where we'll see another very nice reference, I think.
Mhm.
Or you know, one among many.
Yes.
Bless you. So good to see you. I can smell storms coming.
So rude.
Yep.
Such a rude guy.
He's the worst, but I love him anyway.
Mauled by bears. She-bears. Impudent youth. Let's show more respect to Brother Adok.
Yeah. I like Brother Adok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be just like guy. Faithful against the iniquitous.
What do you mean? Prior Farron would do something about this, like, quarreling.
We have 3 cats.
Oh, yeah.
Pathetic.
Yup.
This is rude. Let's say this.
Yeah, I want to be rude too. Oh my goodness.
Daphnes of Sicily.
Yes.
Which I guess is, you know, a reaction you would also get in real life if you said something.
Yeah.
Look, you just say them both.
Yeah, we just did the same. we just showcased our sententiae.
Exactly. You get to share fun facts with people, and they maybe don't appreciate the fun facts. Thank goodness for streaming, right?
Yeah.
We have a captive audience who voluntarily chose to listen to our fun facts for some reason.
Masterpiece until he rise.
What is he supposed to be doing? Shouldn't he be doing the work that he just got the extra pay for?
He
Well, that's
should, yeah.
yeah.
In their Mauer. Prominent family, the Swiss controversy in Austria.
Andreas is a slacker.
Yeah. That's why he isn't the master yet. Because he also, you know, his font is not as evolved as the other ones. And here we have Zdena. So if Kate is in the chat.
Yep.
Don't ask what she means. Get the book! Get the book!
Will you remember?
you should pursue this. It's very funny.
Pursue.
No, she's bad news. She's bad news.
But it's very funny. Hit on the nut.
To be fair, Kate in the chat has been saying this for months. So, let's go. What do you mean? If you consider to. I don't know if this is, you know, which one of these is better than.
I think you have to push all the way, don't you?
Right, yeah, but I don't think.
I don't remember for sure what does this. Kate, you probably remember.
Oh yeah.
I would need to look up a guide.
I messed it up. Oof, no. Illuminato. A bit on the nose name.
I love Andreas' surprised face. It's my favourite face. When he raises his eyebrows like that all the time, it's great.
It wasn't being do we wait?
I like Sister Illuminati the best.
Do we have to? Does it matter?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
We have the book. Let's return it promptly. Here we go, and if I remember correctly, this is a special book. Or was it the other? No, it's another.
It's not
comes
this
later.
one.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
later.
it's
Yeah.
everyone else goes, and then you have to collect
Yeah,
a
yeah,
selection of
that's it,
special
yeah, yeah.
books.
I love this.
Yarrow, do your own work.
Yep. And I just put in chat a link to an actual one of the same, an actual roundel of the same scene.
Oh, really?
Because this is there's a reason why he's pulling from another book of ours in order to draw this scene.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Because that's just how you do it.
Yeah, which they'll say in the conversation, won't they? They'll start
Exactly.
talking about that Andros is kind of too reliant on these. It doesn't feel right. Yeah, it's an excellent interpretation of someone else's work.
Hmm.
What is? Given too much thought. I'm not given too much. Okay. Do what it represents.
Just wait for Piero to correct his typos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's... Oh, it's a good time to play this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the one I just dropped is the exact same image though in less or the same stock scene. But yeah, in this period, there actually were circulating basically sketchbooks that would outline or a model book in order to outline various stock characters and stock scenes that would consistently show up in things like this, which is, a liturgical calendar, basically. And so the associated scene, right, you'd be able to literally almost exactly copy either from a model book or from a previous masterwork to get these scenes just right.
But at the same time, thematically, like the fact that they have this discussion that, we learn a bit about kind of manuscript making and so on. But at the same time, this is going to be a really important issue for Andreas and also for the player as well. Like, how are records made and who chooses how they're made, and are there problems with just repeating the things other people say or the things that other kind of works are doing, and how much personal input should there be here? And Piero is kind of arguing for the truth in the sense of the way things are rather than the way things are commonly represented, and that's going to be an issue that comes up again and again across this game. It's the whole setting is just so
I know.
just well aligned with like the issues that the game wants to explore. It's really good.
Oh yeah. And without super spoiling right the late game, there was a book that I hoped would show up that didn't, and I was a little bit sad about that because I think it would align with that whole theme fairly well.
A book that we'll find soonish, or
No. A book that does not appear in this game, but was published the year the game ends.
Oh, okay. Alright, so time has passed.
And we get the hours of the day. So instead of using, a time, right, like every other game on the planet has a clock and it just has like a day and a night. No, this uses monastic hours. So we are just approaching, is it Thursday? Yeah. So the third hour of the morning, so what, just about noon. Actually, no, 9 a.m.? Which is the second of the prayers of the 7 prayer times for the Benedictine calendar, or hours of prayer. So when we have this thing that they call a book of hours, right, the thing that we're working on, it gives you prayers for different times of day at different points in the year, and it's very good.
This person, he just wrote something in the book here.
He sure did.
Yeah, and he had the icon was similar to the occultist icon earlier.
It sure was.
Da, da, da.
I guess it's another Isu artifact, but okay,
Behave.
what was that noise? Bowl of paint on the floor. Let's just proceed to.
And I adore this section.
Yeah.
All books should be treated with the utmost care.
We love books.
This will be remembered.
Exactly.
Just wisdom that can aid even the unenlightened and grow closer to
Naturally, this is why we keep them in a library that is extremely protected and no one can access.
God. Yeah. Chronica Clara. Does it matter which one we?
I don't remember.
I mean, we should at least read what the Chronica Clara
Yeah.
is.
Mm.
A clear chronicle, a history of the universe from creation to 1082, written by the Irish monk Marianus Scotus, which I did not know
Sounds
about.
alright.
I'm just wondering for the thing we want to see.
It doesn't matter for this
Oh,
one.
okay.
You always see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love how we all know what we're talking about. It's not that we want to see the work of one of the great Irish scribes. And minds. Primus Germanium. If you'll excuse me.
Wait.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We help her recover some missing books. She tells us what she knows about the Baron. But anyway,
But you have no way of saying, no, I'm not
No.
helping. You just help more or less helpfully.
Exactly.
where should I begin? You and your cohort carelessly strewn books around the scriptorium. Here we go. First books are 2 volumes of the Aeneid.
Yeah.
A heroic Trojan who struggles to reconcile his personal desires with his destiny to found Rome. Virgil.
That's one way of describing it, certainly.
Yeah. 14 inches by 10 inches, 3 inches thick. Nuremberg inches or Nuremberg inches.
Just being annoying, Andres. I like that he has the option to bring that option up a couple of times. It's more than once you could ask this stupid inches question. Yeah, as the chat says, I love this running gag. Yeah, me too. But it's also really annoying.
Also, like, I like that this is like smaller. I mean,
Yep.
the font is smaller here because he's like, what color has covered? Like he's saying
Just-
it more silently.
Yeah.
Well, just the utterly withering stare that I'm even not as giving
Yes.
through.
Yeah.
She's successfully scared even Andreas.
Here we go. And this is so cool.
It's
This
so
is
good.
actual Aeneid. This is book 4. And this is so cool.
And just a beautiful rendition of this like early Gothic manuscript. This is probably 13th century. Would be my guess. I don't know the exact manuscript, but this font makes me think that it's probably 13th century, because it gets more elaborated into like Fractal Gothic in the 14th, 15th, 16th centuries.
And it's also cool because the Iliad and Odyssey, they get some representation in games. The Aeneid, as far as I know, has never made it into a game. I think. I might be wrong, but I don't think there's any game focused on Aeneid.
Not focused on. I mean, Dido was obviously as a kind of historical figure, but also she's partly the Aeneid's Dido, right? In other games. And there's weirdly Aeneas's first wife, Creusa, made it into a strange mobile game that I played for a while. Yeah.
Wild.
Which one?
That game God's War that I was playing
that one, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
last year had loads of random characters. You know, the servers have gone down, so I now can't access it anymore,
Really?
which is
Oh, no.
devastating. No one can go back to it. It's like a fleeting instance, but it did have Creusa in there.
Sure.
Wow. Okay. So
As
yeah.
one of
So your screenshots are they're a relic now.
Yeah, I don't think I took enough, but yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Like, that's a valuable resource.
So Illuminata says Aeneas chose his duty to the gods over his lover Dido.
I like that they like do the poses when they're standing in this
Yeah.
manuscript.
Yeah.
Oh, go on, let's quote Latin.
Let's do it. In how many games can we do that? Did not make you for a scholar of Roman poetry. We are Latinist.
Well, you're in the wrong stream, Illuminata.
Exactly.
Not one scholars of Latin poetry.
Out of love rather than duty.
I also really like that Illuminata is really critical in this, in
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
these scenes. She's really engaging critically with the works. She's engaging critically with Andreas. Like, she's not one of the more kind of, I suppose, dramatic characters that we see, but you know, she still has a view. She has this chance to say things like this, you know, I didn't have a choice in my vocation, few women do. This whole scenario gives again another way of women having a voice, of expressing kind of the lives of women in this time period, which so few games do.
Exactly. I think we get her mentioned later, but right, Illuminati is a big fan of the works of Christine de Pizan, who's a
Yeah.
15th century French poetess. Like probably the first person to fully first woman to fully make a career out of royal sponsorship for poetry. And she gets springboard to fame by yelling about the romance of the rose incredibly loudly for a period of about 4 years straight. And it's fantastic. And I think you do see a lot of that, like, these female poets that are really engaging in a totally different way with the popular literature of the late Middle Ages than anyone else. Magistrate brought up Marguerite Porretta, who we see very soon, I think.
Someone also
If
posted
I'm...
sorry.
Yeah.
Someone
No, go
posted in
ahead.
the chat, fun fact about Aeneid, a very, very loose and fun retelling of the Aeneid with the same name in 1798 by Ukrainian author Ivan Kotlyaevsky, is considered to be a foundational book in modern Ukrainian language literature. I did not know that. That's interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, you should do that thought bubble
Yeah, I was thinking
here
that
in
as
game. You can always do the thought bubbles without. That's not a choice. That's just bonus info.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many historical games do you know that will really ask you, the player, to think about that question? I would say almost none,
No.
frankly.
No, you're right. And if they do, they don't do it to this degree.
No, not at all. And with this many like different characters and good kind of characters of different social classes and in different kind of contexts, and
Here, yeah. Even
you know,
story.
here she is complaining about literature and kind of women's roles in literature.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
And it modernizes the language a little bit, because there's none of like self-effacement that you do see in Porretta or in Christine de Pizan. To be like, oh, I am an uneducated no little, but even so I can see this. Right, there's a lot of this sort of needing to say things in a specific way to avoid getting too explicit in their criticisms, and then it ends up being incredibly effective. But updating it here for this more private conversation here in a monastic context, in a gamic context, I think just works really well.
Yeah.
I like in the chat, Magistrisa is saying, now Illuminata kneels where Dido kneels, and she looks like a virgin martyr. Yeah.
Yeah.
From
But it's interesting, as well, that Andreas doesn't quite get the message here. And that's a kind of theme for quite a lot of, I think, Act 1. That, Andreas listens and is willing to listen and will try it, but he doesn't quite understand the things that are being told to him. Whereas, and again, this is, part of, like, the way that they deal well with the passage of time. When he comes back and he's older and he's had some life experience, his responses to the same characters and the same issues is much more mature and is much more kind of aware. Here, he's still a little bit kind of young man about some of this.
So now we have to get the second book, The Wretched Guerin.
Yep.
Guerin. This the description is enough. Was it a doc reading it? Should be here. And here we have Italian.
Yes. And beautiful, beautiful rendition of like a hand-colored woodcut. One of the things that like you don't see in a lot of renditions of things is clear layers of like brushstrokes. And here you can 100% see that the paint was not particularly skillfully added in watercolor to the horses, and it is bled. Right, the paint is sometimes very well executed, but generally overlays the print lines and is represented by big splooges of paint that have bled beyond the limits of the printed lines in a style that you see all the time in like 15th, 16th century print.
Yeah, some fantastic references. I like how he's sitting on the horse. They assault the pirates, raise a servant, and live a life of adventure, wooing princesses and fighting in tournaments.
Ta-da! It's an ancient novel, but updated.
Yeah. Not to love.
Look at her frown.
Yeah. We wanna be theologian again.
May as well. You've made us a theologian.
Exactly.
Have I? That leads to temptation. To die better than we are born. Oh no, we have two options for theologian now. Paul's words can be hard to recall when you're suffering with your station in life, and yet Paul said that women must obey men. Even the Gospels can free us from the bondage of our place in life. You may be wondering.
Wow, you can turn the previous thing right back on.
Yeah. What are we going for? 1, 2, or 3?
I have not seen number 2.
You wanna go for number 2?
Sure.
So it's not the same as the world that follows, Andreas.
Yeah, I didn't think she'd she'd necessarily like it, but
No. Now we know what it leads to.
exactly.
Would you like the abbot to receive a 4th letter? Oh, it would be like losing a limb. A small one. Okay.
Oh, there's some books that I've lent out that never came back, which is just so
Really?
annoying.
Oh.
Yeah, because when you have to buy the book again and you own it and you know who's got it, but you lent it out, in my case, one of them, like over 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really ask for it back.
Yeah. It's gone.
I don't lend books very often because it's so upsetting when they never come back.
Yeah. One book left. Dark red cover, 8 inches high, 5 inches across, 2 inches thick. I don't know, other guy was reading it. Here. What is this? It's French.
It's bad.
This is a very important text that is basically should not exist.
So there's no touch. First thing.
Bad. Illuminati does not want to talk about this book.
No.
I love the suggestion that I should be stealing people's shoes in return for my books, but I have to say, like, most of my friends would not give me one of their shoes in exchange for a book. So, particularly not in public, in most of the
Yep.
situations where these exchanges happen. Like, in a classroom, short term is one thing, but if you're going to make someone walk away from the conversation without one of their shoes.
I like the idea behind it though.
Yeah, I like the idea very
Yeah.
much. I just think practically, sadly,
yeah.
most people won't agree. Yeah, look, this book is
Yep.
should have been burned. It's a bad book.
It's a good book.
Andreas is surprised again.
Exactly. So this is by the female mystic that was just brought up earlier, Margherita Porretta. It's a text called The Mirror of Simple Souls, which is part of a broader movement of sort of bridal mysticism and this really erotic understanding of divine grace and divine love, and it is an utterly remarkable text that was not well liked in the 16th century.
But Father Matthias loved it.
I'm just
Exactly.
imitating Andreas' expression.
Books shouldn't be destroyed.
She doesn't
Ooh.
appreciate that.
She's gonna remember this, I think.
Come on, we're
There's
heretics.
tons
Let's
of
say the
weird
church is
examples of
wrong.
nuns having
heretics.
visions.
Yeah. This will be remembered. It's a question of We're really picking a fight with an Italian. I mean, ooh, are we keeping
Try
it?
and save it.
Keep it, keep it, keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Keep the heresy book.
I was about to knock you off the ladder.
She's too far away.
I'll hide it, keep it safe. Me, then become a French heretic. Okay,
Yes.
how much of a fight are we? Okay. Okay, she didn't remember that. That's not funny. I'm serious. Give me that book or deals forfeit. Oh. We'll take the book from me. Let's appeal to your duty as a librarian.
Sure.
To the room.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. We made some
So.
good choices. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. The only thing was that we said the church was wrong.
Yeah,
Yep.
when we gave into our heretic moments,
Yeah.
then she didn't really enjoy that.
We're only mortal. Can't destroy the book. Sound deranged.
This is not the first time in this game that Andreas is gonna. Oh no.
And yeah, it just keeps going.
How so? Because we failure.
Yep.
Alright, then the sound theological reasons, I guess.
I don't
We
think
can just
that's
try
gonna
taking it
work.
away. Oh,
They're gonna
No, me
oh,
neither.
yeah. Let's see.
Right.
I think on
the-
theology, she's gonna feel she's got better grounds than we do.
Than someone
Exactly.
who hasn't finished their study. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can try?
Try
Yeah,
compromise. Let's take it away with us.
Exactly. It is no longer in the library. And
It
off we
won't be
go.
bothering the other monks. It is true. It is wrong.
Oh, could you stop? Run away with the book with a loaf.
Hooray!
Yay!
Oh, that was hard work.
Yeah.
That was a lot of hard work. We
Yeah.
almost got the much more difficult version. So this will have effects in about 15 hours of gameplay.
Do we talk to her again? Is there anything meaningful?
We're going to
Yeah.
ask about the
Oh, yeah,
Baron.
the Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was supposedly the point.
Yeah, no, I forgot. Yeah. We only
Oh.
have time to answer one question, so just carefully.
Oh, great. Thanks, Andreas.
What are we most interested in?
All of them are going to be good.
Hmm.
Chat. Does anyone have any preference for this?
I don't care about the middle ones so much. They're a bit
These
like,
two? Yeah.
yeah. I prefer the history
The
or
ones.
books question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Scandalous details. Yeah.
Okay.
Check.
Uh-huh.
Other bit I had a copy. I was looking for another to verify its contents. The
Woohoo!
Roman occupation of this land.
Ask her this so I could the Romans so I could do my IMC research right now.
The second one.
Yeah.
This already records for you, so you can return to this.
Perfect.
Folklore. St. Moritz is intertwined without the colony. Well, what's the folklore then?
I like how we've got really off the topic of the whole situation.
Oh, yeah.
What do you know about the the Baron? Well, let me
What do you
tell
know
you
about
the
Romans?
folklore of this land. Basically, first, before the Romans dug the old salt mine, the Romans came, worked the mine, built the aqueduct that we saw, and the foundations of the keep beneath us. And the Romans left. And their gods.
Harusa, are you asking about the Mirror of Simple Souls or the Historia Tassia here?
Newtown. Sic transit gloriae Roma.
He's quoting Sententii at us as well now.
Yeah. The Mirror of Simple Souls. Right. So, basically, right, when it was initially written, it was not seen as heretical. It takes a little bit of time for the book starts to pick up steam, get more popular, get copied more often. No, I don't. I don't think I like this. But of course, bridal mysticism movements continue to be super popular, and so the book does continue to get copied even after the condemnation and theoretical destruction. I think it gets copied more often in convents than in monasteries, though I don't know that for sure. I think it is primarily copied in religious institutions, not in lay workshops, though it could be done in lay workshops. But for the most part, it's proliferates and then gets destroyed. Censorship in either more isolated monasteries, in smuggling trades, or in other contexts, kind of sneak past and don't get caught or partially or completely censored. Oh, what
In
a
the meantime, you have some more Latin.
beautiful scribal hand.
Yeah, this is really nice. Speculum Astronomiae Albertus Magnus Defense. Astrology. Around 13th century Dominican theologian, philosopher, astrologer, and Bishop of Regensburg. Yeah, this is fantastic. With it draws attention to meaningful attention to texts and manuscript in the past. In many other games, they're just like placeholder objects that don't mean anything, or they're just like a lorem ipsum or something like that. But here, it's all meaningful.
Yeah. And yeah, when it says write a sloppy book, and as much as I'm like, this is beautiful and legible and I love it, it is objectively not super well done. So like the U on the recto side in the second line, right, you can see there was an error. There's a couple of errors that have to get scribbled, rubbed out, and then re-entered. Some of the ligatures are not particularly well formed. It's not super regular. It's not super elaborate. So yeah, overall, right, I think Andreas is being very learned here in identifying that this is nice to a modern audience because it reads closer to print, but it's not an elaborated, really nice bookhand.
So let's say it's sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then we get glosses, because
It's thorough commentary.
uh,
Oh wow. Oh yeah, it didn't blot the ink drop because we see it here.
On the other page.
Capricorn Aries.
Yep.
All astrological symbols. What's written below?
Greek
Should have learned
letters.
Greek.
That's okay, Andreas. I can read it.
Although there really isn't that much to read here.
No, it's just letters.
Yeah. We'll figure that in due time. I mean, he's gonna be disappointed when he learns Greek to read this, and he's just gonna find out it means nothing. All right. So.
If he was an Italian, he would know it, of course, because if you're an Italian, you know some Greek, apparently.
yeah.
So.
I mean, if you're in Venice, what are you going to be doing, right? Because some of the Phoenician colonies are on the Greek islands. It makes sense that you at least be running into Greek speakers, even if you it's not the primary thing you're trying to do.
I forgot where we were supposed to go.
We're going for lunch.
Yeah, I thought so. So that is in the yeah. Okay, I remember now.
Not in the refectory. We're going out for lunch with our friends in the field.
Oh, okay. So then I'm going completely the wrong way.
You can stop by the refectory and see everyone hanging out, all the brothers hanging out having lunch, but otherwise you just need to get out the front door.
Okay.
But yeah, they have lunch without you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they are. All right, we've been going for a long time, so I won't talk to everyone here. We've seen them having lunch. So let's go. Church. And is this? Yeah. Is this where we're supposed to go?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's Martin. Let's not talk to him. Meadow.
You have overshot.
Yeah, you don't need to go out of the abbey. They're in the abbey. They're coming to do some work in the abbey.
Okay.
Go like around the front, yeah. There we go.
There they are.
Otto and Andreas. You were still asleep when you came back. Yeah.
Slacker.
True. Yeah, especially in the context of in Abby's time cycle, Andreas is just awful at following the rules because right, the first prayer of the day is at dawn, and the last one is at about 2 in the morning. But actually, that's not true. I guess if you wake up for the nighttime one, it's about 2 in the morning. But the last one otherwise is like 10 p.m. and you go to bed right away.
So you can get up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alright.
Let's not be really uptight and grumpy.
No.
I feel like if there's a dialogue marked "be really uptight and
Yeah.
grumpy," like
I forgot about the food menus. Yeah.
oh, I love the foods. Again, it's this kind of like, I mean, as Adam was saying, like the micro history, like you eat with different people, you see their different foods, the kind of different options they've got. Some of them fancier than others, some of them kind of personal, and like the kind of sharing and the shared meals and conversations that you get a chance to just kind of stop and chat with people is just fantastic.
Yeah, and I love that it alternates, right? Investigation, food. Investigation, food.
Yeah.
And they do so much on, class and belief and trade and wealth all through food history. And, like, good lord, who does video games that do food history?
Yeah.
Wildly non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, in most games you don't even have food. Like, I mean, or just a heal thing.
Right, or right, yeah, you see food out in the world and it's like, we have 32 apples.
Yeah. It's like every math problem. Or it's like what like Kate said earlier, like it's just a statistic that you sort of manage, but it's not.
Or, as Magistressa feels the need to remind me, right, when you do have specific food as heal items, in Kingdom Come Deliverance, a pretzel costs a week's worth of wages.
Oof.
Because they just don't know how to do the economy in that game. And so, kind of sidestepping it by just being like, oh yeah, this is the food you have, and we don't actually worry about necessarily trying to balance a price. Because that's not the point.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance yet, but I haven't heard that many good things about it.
I have strong feelings that do not belong on this game.
Yeah. Let's not say the bottom one. It's hard to tell if that's meant to be a joke or not. Like, is he joking with Otto or is he being a dick? I don't really know. So
let's go for it.
Oh no.
Seen and rated, but he didn't remember it, so we're fine. Rich bastard like him have any sense of virtue.
Yeah, Otto.
You did learn how to write it, right? I like when there's like multiple typos. It sort of seems like it's a drunk message that you get. Like,
I love that theologian answer.
Let's go.
I also think it's interesting that, like, sometimes when they get more emotional, you get more typos as well. So, like, particularly sometimes when Andreas starts getting stressed out, like, you pick up extra typos in it.
Yeah, no, it's a way of like vocalization, I guess, like or reflecting the mind state. I mean, uh, Espen Arseth said that, video games are terrible at conveying the inner states of their characters, or wisely they don't even try. I think he wrote that in 2004. But I think at this point video games have evolved about, and it's like details like that that do sort of convey that.
Hmm.
But I guess in 2004 it might have been more appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, this game is certainly a wild success at that compared to the average even in 2023.
Yeah, but like even in games like the new God of War games, like with you have the codex and it's written by Atreus, or in the new game it's like not only Atreus, but it conveys how Atreus thinks and how the other characters think. But and so we have similar things here, but it's interesting that in order to convey the inner state, that they sort of resort to a form of literature, like it's about the text they
Yeah.
write, or so it's an intriguing overlap.
Exactly. Or you get the classic one of modern games of let me whisper to myself out loud so the player can hear me about my
Yeah.
reaction to the thing that just happened.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
I should stay out of
I mean,
sight.
I think, speaking of another game that we have recently admired on this stream for kind of character work, Stray Gods does a lot of it with music, right? Like,
Yeah,
you get a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
sense of Grace's internal state based on particularly the kind of incidental music. When you go to the menus and how the tone of that changes, and you do see that in other games as well. Kind of when the soundtrack changes, that's quite often connected to the emotional state of the protagonist, if there is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why they wanted to make a role-playing musical, right? Didn't they say that it was for, a different layer of emotion in games?
Mm.
It should return to work.
I suppose. How did it start raining?
It started raining, and as we all know, nothing good comes during storms, and I am very excited.
Oh no.
Ooh, the pilgrims.
Do we talk here? Yeah, Carl.
Talk to everyone. That's not going to work. Let's talk to these people.
Andreas. So everyone is
Also,
an illustration
the spoons in hat is a historical thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's in Bruegel the Younger's engravings, I think, that you see like peasant scenes when they wear spoons in their hats.
Oh wow.
Oh, this again, I love this. This attention to the detail. His wife is pregnant and has had difficult, and like quite a lot of the village is involved in this pregnancy, or like aware of it, or kind of trying to help, or asking, And again, like in a small community, absolutely, like pregnancy is dangerous for women in this period. But how many games do you get that care about this? You barely see this character most of the time, but how many games would you get that like engage with this major issue of kind of women's lives and experiences?
Yeah.
Like none.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And we get the pilgrims who are just show up randomly, right? They're just passing through. They have no connection to the plot, but it's what the shrine is for, right? It's a pilgrimage shrine along a major trade. Well, we're a bit off of the major roads, but like Tausing is not far off the road between Innsbruck and Nuremberg, and so it's tied to these transcontinental pilgrimage routes. And so you get people passing through. And the shrine makes some cash by selling pilgrims badges as, well, tourist chic, tourist kitsch for these pilgrims.
Okay, now you have to choose between theologian or bookworm.
Oh,
Or another.
I don't know that calling Saint Mauritius a minor saint is going to go over very well.
I was thinking the same. But
I mean, it would be very funny. I just don't think he'd like it.
I mean, we also can't say I've been so focused on my masterpiece when we show up to work at like, right before noon. I also don't want to throw Sister Illuminata under the bus. Let's go for the minor saint. Steve, what your reaction is.
Right.
He is a minor saint.
Well, it might not be though. Okay, he isn't upset.
No, Meto knows the situation.
But the thing is, the fact that we're worrying about things like this, showcases the quality of the writing. Because you can plausibly expect a reaction like that.
Yeah.
I like that you can just sigh. I mean, I do think it's funny that you can make Andreas a real nightmare in this
Yeah.
game and like still have a good experience.
Technically, decimation means 1 out of every. Are we gonna be?
Yeah, we can have Roman fun facts too.
Oh no! Come on, let's do it. You wanted to be the Latinist.
Now
He hits us with the 3 dots.
This is the most accurate part of the game.
Yes, exactly. Classicists are annoying.
maybe-
It's from Decimus. Yeah, from Decimus. Oh, look at his little downturned mouth.
Yeah.
He's so annoyed with us. The best part.
I've heard that if you go for Imperial Law, you can be even more insufferable, and I adore it.
Yeah, you can.
Listen, what you. I think better raise it worse.
Didn't enjoy that so much, did he?
No. But we already got the money from him, so.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, good point.
Although I don't think we're gonna get a good employee review at the end of this.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't have consequences 7 years from now. Also, we should totally swing by the Shrine of Saint Sasia sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
I don't think we could access it yet because it's out in the forest. But as soon as we can, I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, there were sheep in the way, but
Yeah. An astounding story, or huh.
either it's astounding or huh.
Do we want to try what it does?
No, come on, you were being like nice to these guys earlier. You want the good employee review or not?
Are we gonna? I don't think we'll get it if we wake up at 10:30. But little brother. So we can't talk to the pilgrims, can we?
Nope, they're just hanging out.
All right.
They don't have any interest in talking to you.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they're here for a particular purpose, which is
Yeah.
not really chat to the random illustrator.
So do we go to the forest or do we go back to work?
We still can't go to the forest. I think the
Okay.
sheep are still in the way. I think we're pretty much locked in until tomorrow in terms of what actually progresses the story.
So let's go back to the scriptorium. Wait, which way is that again? Cloister. Is it?
You can head, you can head
Doesn't
through the
matter, you can
cloister
get out.
or the Old Bailey. Both options work.
Don't.
You can
okay,
go to the cemetery and out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't
Going
matter.
free
You
also
can go.
works, yeah.
Basically, it's a square.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a while since I played it.
Me too. It's just I played it a lot when
Yeah.
I was playing it.
How many hours do you have on it?
Oh, I don't remember. I could find out. Oh, now the prior's here, so no one is shouting at each other.
I remember when I was playing this the first time, I found it a bit of a pity that you just see him working, but you can't like do the work yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's
I know.
drawing that in. That would have been fun.
Yeah, that was something I actually talked to Zoe Franznik
Oh.
about. Of like, why isn't there one about that? And ultimately, the answer is that like that's not really what the game is about, right? The fact that he's an illustrator is important, but it's not. They just didn't find a good way to really tie it into what they were trying to do thematically with the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it turns out it just doesn't actually have a place to let you be the illuminator here versus Andreas Mahler.
Yeah. But it would have been like, just like for once or something, like to know. I mean, to show how it worked, for example, like they do
Yeah.
with the books, for example. Like that would have. But I get the idea.
I have played for 33 hours,
Oh
apparently.
wow.
Which is, given it's not a very long game, I mean, I
Mm.
have played it, I think, about 3 times in total. Although I've got
Mhm.
kind of two complete and 2 half games or something. But yeah. I loved it. And also, I mean, it also runs on a laptop. So when I
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to stay with family over Christmas, I took this and I played it on the train because it's very, untechnologically demanding.
That's true.
Yes.
Is it only on PC or is it? I mean, Xbox, I guess as well, because it's made by. Because
I think it is just PC and Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I would see I could see this selling on Switch, for example. Like.
Yeah, I think it would be great on Switch, but as far as I know, certainly it wasn't on Switch. As far as I know, it still isn't.
I haven't seen anything about it coming on Switch, which I think probably has to do with the fact that Obsidian is a subsidiary of Microsoft. So
I guess.
there may be some negotiations that have to happen there.
Yeah. I expected more. Come on.
You suck, Baron.
Yeah.
True.
We have a title for next week's stream. I'll fix this, of course. I like that title.
Go away, we're on Piero's side. I'm on Piero's side. I don't know what your side on.
How should I? Yeah. Yeah. How should I respond to this? The abbot already seems annoyed. What would Socrates do?
We should do the opposite.
God, I love Grobian's terrible advice.
Yeah, me too.
So what are we saying?
Well, I thought you wanted to do what Socrates does, so in that case, my
but
lord.
Like, I'm not a Socratic. I'm a heretic, not a Socratic.
Oh, okay.
Let's not respectfully.
No!
Oh boy.
The chat is having some sort of wild party, which is not appropriate for a monastery scriptorium.
Get drunk with me.
Oh dear.
If you say this with a typo, does it change the decision to have us do the work? Well, let's do the second one. Let's give Piero another chance.
Oh
With his
boy.
frowny face. Oh, I like Piero. I hate the thing where it's like, oh, Piero's not capable.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think out of the two, the first one is a more polite one.
Sure. Oh, Piero.
I
I
know.
don't see him. Yeah. So welcome at table for supper.
Say no. No!
That would be hysterical.
There wasn't an option for me.
Yeah, you do not get a choice here.
Yeah.
Poor
No.
Klaus. Poor Klaus.
I know! It's so inappropriate. And then poor Klaus is upset.
Let's say this. Nonsense.
So what? I really don't like the Baron.
No.
On the bright side, this is the most awkward dinner anyone has ever had, and it is
Yeah, I know.
extremely funny.
Yeah.
Well, no one cares. Your Prince Bishop isn't here.
Well, awkward silence here between the four. You had this planned.
Literally how?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, go to. How?
I guess we're trying to help, so.
Yeah.
No.
Should we confront him about his weird look?
Yeah, tell him he's a witch and we like Piero better.
Your Greek isn't even correct.
Yes. Why did you write Greek letters all over that book, by
Yeah.
the way, Ferring?
Oof.
Oof. Really making friends here.
Yeah. Someone is gonna be upset whichever way we go.
Yes.
Who are we least worried about? I guess Guy. No.
Certainly, Guy has less power than Farring does.
Yeah. Let's go with this. Brothers. Sister Zena and I would prefer if you keep the noise down. Samson slaying the Philistine.
Very apt, Illuminata.
Alright. So we go to the lavatory first.
Mm-hmm.
Got to wash our
By the
hands.
way, as we get to dinner, it is important that theoretically, in a Benedictine monastery, everything meals are eaten in total silence except for the lector.
Oh, okay.
Like they would even ask to like pass the plates using sign languages, and other types of hand signals, instead of saying words.
Oh, here.
Yup.
Oh, Piero.
Oh yeah, here you see what you said.
Yep, the brothers won't
Yep.
be speaking. But he's so nice. You can talk all you like. But don't.
We'll see how well the Baron respects.
Yeah.
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 It's not fair, it's humiliating. A case of humility. Sure, but not of humiliation. If you know anything about the Baron, is that he's a respectful and humble man. You are my... Aww.
Piero's the best.
Piero's the best.
Protect him at all costs. Both of them are nice. Change the future right over the present. Full of tact the Baron is.
Mm-hmm. But this is also a great point to say, like, the title of the game is a reference to what Piero just said. Right, a pentimento is, in art historical terms, when an older underlayer of paint starts bleeding through a new layer. So it's related to like palimpsests, which is the textual version, where there's something, it gets partially but incompletely scrubbed out, and something written over the top of it.
That's a nice, way of framing that. So wait, now we go to the refectory, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Just have to find it. Here we go.
Yep.
Not ready to cry already. Here we go. The dinner scene.
What was Father Thomas doing here?
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he'd be doing, since he's not technically part of the Abbey. You just said the monastery made the wrong choices in terms of cooks? What, isn't it, Voislav and Lucas? So Polish and English cooks, instead of any of the Italians.
The Gates of Hades. Matthew measures it extensively. Either this or not really, to be honest.
Or you could nod your head and keep quiet like the abbot wants us to.
Yeah. But I want to see his reaction. I don't know.
Go for it. Be the worst
Let's
Andreas
say
you can possibly be.
The longest sentence we can say.
I thought you wanted to be friends. Yeah, exactly. I thought
mean-
you wanted to be friends with the abbot when you started this off. That lasted a long time, didn't it?
I mean, if our friendship is so fickle that one sentence will break it, I don't want to be friends with him.
It's a long sentence.
Yeah. But I can be rude to the guest as well, because then, I'll be a bad host.
That
Exactly.
It's not a concern of the abbots. Oh my god.
Oh,
What is the matter with this guy?
oh god, playing this the day after Thanksgiving in the US. Yup.
Just hit him over the head with a plate, Andreas. Just like,
No,
stop him!
Don't, because that will be suspicious. Come on.
He's so insistent. I
Yeah.
love.
He's sponsored, actually.
True.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Florian's face.
Everyone is cross. Look at everyone just like frowning.
Yeah, they're all
I know.
looking at him angrily.
I like Sebat's face of just utter horror.
Does it look like Father Thomas sees the views? Listens to his views? He's busy! He's reading!
Yeah. Music stops moment, like record scratch.
True.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean,
Oh yeah, we
that's-
started this
it's-
channel with someone saying this is like a holiday dinner, so we've decided to
Yeah.
have the most awkward family dinner ever in gaming. No.
Yeah. Okay, now Okay, and now I'm gonna say silent.
Uh-huh.
Remain silent.
Oh, boy.
Wait.
Uh,
He's really put me in a difficult position. There's a lot of theology to talk about.
maybe he would appreciate it.
He's not going to appreciate it.
And like Socrates now also has the bad advice of, yeah, Socratic dialogues, right? Just annoying everyone with like
Yeah.
your incessant questions.
Yeah. Worked
Yeah.
great for Socrates,
Yeah,
right? Just
exactly.
annoying people.
I literally a couple years ago there was this YouTube video that was recommended to me, and it was like the video was called "How to Engage in Dialogue Without Making Enemies," and the thumbnail was the Socratic method. And I'm like,
Wait, hang on.
something does not. Yeah. To Andreas. Oh, okay. Sigh. You know, he's angry anyway.
Yeah, he's angry at Lorenz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've worn out my patience. Read the room, my dude.
Excuse me. He's out of control.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's like come to dinner in an abbey
Mm.
to say this. Like, get a
Oh,
sense of context, man.
no, this is such a Lawrence Rothwell thing to do.
Mm.
He's so annoyed. He's ink blotting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blasphemous, outrageous.
Da, da, da.
How dare you? The big burly ex-soldier, Dr. Flurry. Yeah.
I
You
had to
have.
teach Plato this week, and some of my students did say they were surprised that Socrates didn't die younger. In terms of like speaking about the kind of debate annoying people. Oh, the parrot is just awful.
Making it worse.
Someone should stab him. Lol, lol, lol.
Yeah.
There you go,
Hey, we're being
see?
thanked. See, I wasn't out of bounds earlier.
Now go away.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, I was one of the Italians now.
It's. I had a hot take when I started this game last year that there is no early modern game, and I have revised that take because like we talk a lot about medievalist games, etc. And I was like, there is no early modernist game.
No, yeah, there's a couple of
This
yeah.
this game is the only early modern game, and I love what they're doing here in Act 1 of, oh yeah, right, Curacao is so far out of time, right, that it is really, right, you can feel a lot of currents of change about to happen. I mean, the thesis on the door of Wittenberg was a year ago at this point. And so he's just right, but Curacao hasn't felt it yet. But what the game does over its runtime really emphasizes how much this is a period of change, and I adore it. All right.
I love the little I should get some sleep thought
Yeah.
bubbles.
Because I mean, we talked about food in games earlier.
I think the
yeah, sorry.
first time I played this, I copied that and I kept just like putting it on Twitter.
Your audio was breaking up a little bit for me. I don't know. What
Looks like it still is.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, strange.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna see
Spooky.
Spooky Ghost. Till. We have another sheep.
Also,
Oh, we have our first occultist.
first occultist.
Yeah. The ghost? Could be a Roman.
I love Till.
And again, like, it's such an interesting kind of idea of thinking about this kind of recent past, but still like very definite and separate past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
I,
rushing a bit through this now.
I love that there's an achievement for finding all the plants in this game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
It's good.
remember that. Yeah. Guess we
Sorry, Klaus.
Pale horse, still on the floor.
Yeah.
Nice music as well.
It's inappropriate, other Kate.
Religious sister. Yeah. So Amelie is an anchorite, so is locked in that room.
Yes. Sister in the church, yeah.
Yeah. So is literally unable to leave. The only person she normally talks to at all is Father Thomas, and he passes food underneath the door to her, and otherwise she does not leave that room and has nothing in that room besides a little bit of straw to sleep on. And a crucifix.
Ties back into Illuminata's discussion about women's lives earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's really interesting that this scene comes right after that. You know, we were just talking about the ghost, and then she's asking, is this now? Like, this whole game is just constantly thinking about the relationships between kind of past and present and future, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah. And I love the manuscript framing as part of that, because manuscripts are such a literalization of that. Right.
Yeah.
Especially in a pre-modern tradition, right, where books are not disposable entities. Right, where they are in fact just how you encode history cross-generationally. And you have books that are often hundreds of years old continuing to be in active use in like schools, in monastic communities. And so, right, you can have a 13th century text in the 16th or 13th century physical book in the 16th century still being written in. And it's like, yeah. Could someone be in danger? No, of course not.
We just saw a ghost earlier.
Exactly. It's storming. We saw a ghost. And now we're having someone quoting the Book of Apocalypse. I'm sure it's fine.
Also, there was a rabbit with an axe.
Also, there was a rabbit with an axe. That's 4 bad omens back to back to back to back.
Don't want the 4 of those.
Also, there was a plague of sheep earlier.
Yeah. It was ominous music.
I think too many animals is definitely like a plague thing, isn't it? Plague of locusts, plague of sheep, all that kind of thing. It's sad that we can't wake Klaus up in the middle of the night to say sorry to him.
Yeah.
Let's just go to sleep. Because we do want to get to the big plot point.
Exactly. We do need to make sure we drop off the rent.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh wait, was that here? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
on,
it's
At
in
on
a
home,
the
yeah.
end
different
table,
house.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Sleeping in the on the chair.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we talked about food and games earlier, but you know, sleeping and games as well. You know, it's some games do
Yeah.
it well, others, you know, it's a bit weird. Remember in Skyrim when people were constantly saying, "Oh, you look tired."
Mm-hmm.
Go to
Yeah,
sleep.
and this game does it great because all the families, right, according to their sort of realities, will sleep in different ways and different arrangements. So, like, we didn't quite see it, but like, there are 2 beds for a family of 7 people.
Hmm.
Right, the the Gertners give their 3rd bed to Andreas, and so Il Peter's in a chair, and everyone else, including little tiny baby Ursula, are all crowded together onto 2 small beds. Aww.
Oh no.
What happened?
What's wrong, Ursula?
So once again, we woke up after work.
Yeah.
What, Kate? Then you next.
I care about the farm more than the abbey.
Yeah. I do too. Oh. Some food. A packed lunch today. Okay.
Good. Yeah, that trying to stay dry is gonna...
It's gonna be difficult.
It's a long walk.
Yeah.
And there's water everywhere.
The sheep escaped. No.
Oh god. There's so much sheep stress in this place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True. Andreas is not class aware enough.
No.
Alright, so
But he'll learn.
we can go here. Oh, that yeah, like what you said earlier
Yeah.
about the way it directs you.
Hmm.
Exactly. It forces us to go talk to different people, see different things, right? Like, there was no way to meet the Albans
Yeah.
until now.
Good morning. It's annoying.
Exactly.
Pumpernickel. Lucky. In this weather. Let's say that. Oh no.
No.
No!
Wasn't that Carl and what's her name?
Oh.
Yeah.
I've been way more rude than this.
That's pretty bad, Alex. Feel shame.
Yeah.
I was just concerned about her safety in the weather.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
No, that's literally why I chose. See, stay out of the rain. I literally said that to her.
Be nice now.
Okay, it's balanced now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good again.
Even though you never go to church, so what use are your prayers?
Ouch.
I mean, Father Thomas just the other day was saying we literally never go to church. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, look, now we've broken into the bakery.
Stop making me sound like a criminal.
Well, no one invited us in. What are you doing in the bakery?
I mean, buying bread.
Saying hi to Anna as is right and proper.
Yeah. It doesn't. Okay, never mind. Alright, let's leave the bakery.
Yep. The
Miss
kids,
Anna, you-
the kids in this game are so cute.
They're so cute.
What do we have here?
I love all their like little idle animations and like they're just so brilliant.
Yeah, and they're always doing something, right? Like it's one of Schlau. It's one of the great
Schlau.
things, right? Because even more so than having trouble representing like gendered labor, children's labor in video games just like doesn't exist.
Yeah, no.
And so seeing all the small ways in which they attempt to help is just utterly charming.
Yeah,
there's a-
well, they play and they get distracted, and you know, like when you have the story scene with Senat, and you know, some of the kids not really paying attention, like they're just so much more realistic, and that's really charming.
My favorite thing is that Anna will keep Andreas's hat
Yeah,
for the entire runtime of the game.
yeah.
She will steal his hat, and then will just keep his hat for the entire game.
It's so cute, and the bedtime story, the little story you tell to Ursula, she will remember as well. Like bits of it come up later. It's so cute, and it makes those like tiny interactions so much more meaningful.
I like Max is saying they kind of look like kids instead of shrunken adults or horrible hobbits. Like the phrasing there. But you're right, like stuff like, you know, child labor. There are things that games just can't include. You know, that movies, for example, do much easier.
Yeah, and I know some games, if their combat mechanics trying to be like, we don't feel good about children being potential victims of a murder hobo player,
Yeah,
and the solution is just don't have kids.
yeah.
This is another Kingdom Come Deliverance call-out post. Which is a fair enough thing, but like, quite evidently the answer is, of course, don't get stuck with big combat mechanics. Right, don't. If the main way you interact with the world is violence and the player is incentivized for that, well, that's an issue.
Well, that's why in GTA 5 there's no children NPCs walking around, because people would, you know, drive their cars too fast then.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yesterday when this was sunny, not rainy.
A giant bug is attacking him.
Are we glorifying the past?
Yeah, come
Are
on,
we-
we're
quite the marvels they are.
Also, we have graffiti.
Yeah. That's sort of odd.
Yes, yes.
And again, look, because
Yeah,
now we understand that he
exactly.
can read, all of
Yeah.
a sudden we change his
Our-
font. It's
Our perception
amazing.
of him changes.
Yeah. It is a bit
I guess
annoying how
that's
they all spell favorite like Americans.
Yeah. Wars. Everyone God of War.
And this is so interesting, right? This idea that you've got like conflicting kind of past legends here going on. That Till knows one version that he's read, and Brother Matthew's got this version with Saint Moritz, which is not so Romanized. And we had heard earlier from kind of Il Peter. There's these kind of other pagan traditions, which we'll also get more of in Act 3. Like I love this kind of different types of stories circulating.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Sorry to get mixed up over the years. Quick,
As he
take your
says.
screenshots. You're right, they are giant dogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Books connect us to the past we could hardly imagine existed. I'm not even gonna read the other ones.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I suppose in theory we'd better go to work too.
Yeah. Martin. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, literally don't know how we're supposed to do
We
that.
haven't said anything to
No.
Martin, so
Achoo. Yeah. That's rude.
we didn't even try talking to him at when he
No.
was hanging out at the guest house.
Bunny is still looking. Right.
Yeah. That hair, it's seen some shit.
Oh, now he has a hat. Frog.
Yes.
And this looks a bit like the bunny with the lance you said.
Mine is riding is a
Yeah.
jousting tournament, so it's a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit
okay.
different, but yeah, same vibe.
That's a kind of weird question.
Yeah.
This is a very polite
I like
way.
I like that one.
Oh, this is a very polite way of saying. Disney
Yeah.
film.
Well, that's nice for him.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't like us.
Yep.
yeah. Well,
Sad times. Uh-oh.
Yep. Some half dozen ways.
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be angry with us for very long.
Oh yeah, definitely. Career-defining moment here.
Next visit. Next visit, we'll try again.
Yeah. I hope he returns soon. I hope he can keep dry, yeah.
Yes.
Are we ratting him out, or
I'll leave that to you.
Rude.
are we
What's that got to do with books?
because we've read a thesaurus and now we
Exactly.
I mean he's not here to hear it, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's not gonna impact our choice. I mean his choice.
Oh, well, that's not great.
So
Well, the book is the Historia Tassier.
oh yeah. Yeah,
We see people in like Greek and Roman texts saying "eat shit." That's like a
Yeah.
pretty common insult from as long as we've got texts.
Yeah, you know, polite books will always try and be. Right, medieval Christian books will try to be very discreet about this, for the most part. But in troubadour poetry, or more vernacular popular literature, cuckoldry jokes, your mom jokes, and eat shit are in fact 100% attested insults.
Yeah, also on like ancient curse tablets you find similar things.
Of course, the anthropologists would say that this is all connected to taboos, wouldn't they? That this is a kind of widely accessible and not culturally specific insult because of the taboo of excrement and so on. But
Something Mercia Eliada. Something.
yeah, right.
So I don't remember, is there a specific place I need to...
The chapter house.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be going to work, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go to work. We could also go to the. Yeah.
Go to work.
Go to work?
Yeah. Let's go to work.
You are not supposed to know that you're going anywhere else.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, I'm just wandering around, seeing who's...
Admittedly, you're finding it quite hard to find work, but
Yeah. I mean, we did just get a new assignment yesterday.
Exactly.
Calefactory. Aren't you happy that the books are safe?
oh goodness,
Aw.
Adok is so intense. I mean, I like him, but he's so intense.
Uh-oh.
Da, da, da. It's weird that Guy calls Piero the nice monk and yet is horrible to him anyway. I mean, it's not weird. It means Guy's horrible, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah. He has exactly one redeeming trait.
Being.
Spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Andreas is like, I'm just going to draw a picture and ignore
mean,
this.
You.
Cacophony.
It's like you show up to work 2 hours late, and then when you clearly need to leave your desk, you're like, no, I'm gonna stay. I mean.
I'm really dedicated to my work, man.
Yeah, I mean. This has
Just
to be-
because we're not morning people.
has to be finished on time, you know. Chapter house. Where is? Do we know? Where
It's attached to the cloister.
Oh, okay. Is it? Wait, did I misclick?
But now you're in the church.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going. You can go. You can get into the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
spot
closer,
from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I.
You
wanna-
can get to everywhere. You just go somewhere.
it's-
It's
yeah, that was
it's
the
just
girl.
all a big square.
Down the hall. Okay, chapter house. Yes, yes, yes. Something terrible has
I think
happened.
something's terrible too.
I mean, judging from the. Wait, why is everyone here? Oh no, what happened? Next time
Oh,
we give
no.
Alex a map. You know. Why is the remain silent option louder than the what's happened one?
Because you'd be whispering it to this guy's rather than just shouting into the room. What's happened?
Yeah, but even whispering is louder than remaining silent.
True.
But
But it's just to show that you'd be speaking quietly,
Yeah.
I think.
Let's remain silent.
Okay.
Because I mean, we kind of see what's happened. Murder most foul. And you're right, like the, you know, the background here
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, complements it quite nicely.
Here is Brother Florian.
Mm.
Why was Sevet just standing outside?
He's dead, Jim.
Yeah, we all know that.
Mm-hmm. Go now.
Explosive body. Well, we have a
What
tragedy.
Abbott is he? Let's have a cover up.
I
What are
love.
you saying, Father Abbott? Oh, look, he's so stressed out. He's writing rubbish.
And
Oh my
what
goodness.
is this? Okay. Whoa.
But I love that they yell in all the different languages.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
they like Soto Sakura is Czech.
Mm.
So that we've got a couple of folks speaking Old Czech or Silesian Polish.
His wife should be here. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Whispers of impropriety. He's been stabbed in the chapter house. I think it's going to be more than for variety.
Yeah.
Oof.
No.
Don't do it. No.
We have to speak up.
Yeah, come on, we have to speak up. No,
Fuck
come
off.
on. Look at his rubbish hands.
Exactly.
He obviously didn't stab anyone. No. Come on.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Guy on the other hand.
Yeah. No. Piero was really nice about that.
Yeah.
I hate this bit.
Hey, even Guy.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go for this. Is just let's go for the second one.
Yeah.
You fell into my slipped and fell. No, that's
Well, so much for making friends with Abbott.
I mean,
Piero is more important.
yeah. We have to stick to our guns.
Piero is the
Defend.
best. Do it.
You wanted to be friends, but not at the cost of. Okay, let's just say yes.
Let's just run away.
And never.
No, I mean just like run away in the abbey. We'll just go around in circles and they'll never find us.
Right.
I mean, I think with me having not played this for a year, I think they'll catch up to me. So he's stuck in the Hero.
He's stressed out. It's difficult for him to write this.
Mm-hmm.
Do something.
Take a few hours of, after working for 8 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, you did all that like colouring in.
Yeah. You sharpened your pencil, then you put it down again.
No, we have to go to see Klaus. We're not standing Klaus up again. Da, da, da.
Yep.
Alright. 2 days, 2 hours remain.
And
Forward device, go to the drummers. Alright. I do think this is a good stopping point.
I think this is probably the only good stopping point we're
Yeah.
going to get for a hot second.
Or also because
Yeah.
it's like midnight here.
Yeah.
So.
And it's 11 p.m. here.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're 3.5 hours. I think this might literally have been our longest stream we've ever done. I'm not sure. So yeah, thank you so much, chat, for being here, for being so active. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks guys. It was
yeah.
great to hear from you.
Yeah.
all.
And thank you so much, Kate and Adam as well, for being
Of
here
course, it's-
for 3.5 hours and then.
I love this game. I will
I know.
happily spend all the time playing this game.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, and so join us again tomorrow when Chat's Kate will continue the Total War Pharaohs stream. We'll be playing Pentiment again next Friday, but the Friday after that we're doing a special event. We're not playing Pentiment that day. We'll be having a Richard Cole with us, and we'll be talking
heck
about
yeah.
the new Assassin's Creed VR thing, because Richard is the expert in everything VR and classics. So join us for that on December 8th. And in the meantime, yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.